Ladies and gentlemen of the old world, once again we are back with the best of 9 showdown. So today it's going to be Stingers of RTK facing off against HitmanHippo, Rat Clan. So we have a mini clan war here as well. Players are currently wrapping up some of the drafting, but it is going to be best of 9, and most of the matches have been pre-drafted, which means there's not really going to be a lot of downtime in between games, so it'll be relatively quick. So that is pretty exciting. I mean, obviously they'll need to build their armies and whatnot, but that's more or less the speed. Late night, good times. Let me check with the players, make sure they're ready to go, and we'll load in here in just a couple minutes. Got 5 more mins to draft. 4, 6, 4. Sorry. Yeah. Okay. Was just communicating with the players, so we are good to go. But the first match is going to be a really cursed one, actually. It's going to be Beastmen versus Dark Elves. Now, historically, this matchup has been massively favored for Beastmen. I can't remember the last time I saw Dark Elves do well in this matchup. Now, maybe there's something I'm a little bit out of the loop, you know? It's a little bit new to me, but we'll have to see. But yes, it is going to be Beastmen versus Dark Elves here in Game 1. And Edge of the Darkwood is a very big map, but yeah, Beastmen mobility is just so freaking brutal. Centaurs on big maps like this, and all the Vanguard units they have, pretty nuts. Yeah, Dork Elves versus Beastmen. So the only faction that is restricted tonight is Slaanesh, because otherwise we would be forced to watch like 2 Slaanesh games back to back, and it's just, who wants to see overpowered shit, you know? Yeah, I don't know, maybe the Dark Elves are cooking something. Probably going to be mostly Bleak Swords, Dread Spears, backed up by, I don't know, you probably don't see a static line of like Dark Shards, right? Mainly mobility. So Coldwood Knights, Dark Riders, Repeater Crossbows, maybe a Medusa in the mix, but I don't know how good Medusa are against Beastmen. I guess they're okay. Hey, you just played your first game of the old world, Brad. How'd it go? What was the matchup? And what was the old score at the end? Welcome to the party. So this is game 1. We're going to be starting the first match in 4 minutes. Players are just drafting right now. And, oh, nice. Warriors of Chaos versus Wood Elves. Did the Warriors of Chaos player use a Forbidden Chaos Dragon, the most overpowered unit in the entire game? I've honestly taken a bit of a break from Old World. I just don't enjoy the game right now. It's I enjoy the miniatures and I still paint them, but the balance of Old World is just atrocious when you get to competitive play, and which is what I like to do. If you're just playing casually with the homies, then it's a great game. But when it gets real sweaty and there starts to be an arms race, you know, it gets pretty haggard quickly. Like every list is just abusing monsters or monsters rode by characters, which is really lame. It's like infantry are just trash. The only thing that are really good is like monsters and cavalry, and artillery can be good on some factions too. But enough ranting about that. Beastmen versus Dork Elves here in game 1. What's going on? Kilb and Mike, Cryptic, Tyler, Melody up in here. The Great Frost, of course. Slaanesh mirror match, do it. No, we don't want that. We don't want this Slaanesh mirror match. Why do you put that evil on us, dude? Okay, checking. Want to make sure the players are ready. And cool. So yeah, they're making some pretty good progress. We got a couple minutes before we start. And there we go. All right. So maps to be drafted tonight. So let's go ahead and see. I'm going to scroll up to the map selection. We have a pretty good range of maps. Edge of the Darkwood, Scalendir's Cave. It's a Norscan Rise, Celestial Lake, Dried Floodplain, Arachnarok Lair, Borderlow Landing, and Altar of the Champion, which is a really fun one to close out on. The Altar of the Champion, right? The last show match we had was between Own Goal and Charix. That was a banger of a show match, going all the way to freaking Game 9. If you guys missed that series, it's like peak Total War competitive. It was really, really good. Some men just want to watch the world burn. Oh, man. Hopefully not. Yeah, hopefully not tonight. Yeah. I don't think we're going to get any mirror matches. I think the pick and ban system we're using, yeah, I can't remember if I have mirror matches restricted in it, but we should be safe from the Forbidden Arts. Yeah, this feels like a really hard matchup for the Dark Elves, honestly. One sec. Grab this real quick. All right, that'll do, pig. That'll do. No, it's not quite. I'm looking for a coaster for my drink here. Just give me 1 second. This should work just fine. All right. Outstanding. Worked like a charm. What are you going to do when Slaanesh gets their DLC? Oh, yeah, I know. We're going to have to figure it out. Hopefully with the Slaanesh, update, there's going to be some balancing to Slaanesh units also. Yeah, we'll see, man. We'll see. I'm a little bit nervous about that, though. You certainly raise a good point. All right. Yeah, it is going to be a clan war as well. We have RTK facing off against Rat Clan here, which is going to be fun. We have Own Goal in here himself. I think Stingers has the Zoomer advantage, but I'm not 100% sure, actually. Oh, is he a youngin'? Yeah. I mean, Total War is a game where old men can compete. I mean, I know some Total War competitive players who are usually in the top 16 or around top 16 who are in their late 30s. Who is our, like, strongest but oldest... All right, Tim, I need your help with this. Who is our strongest but oldest player? Like, so the oldest player in the top, who lurks in the top 16, that also like wins tournaments. Who is that? You know? Yeah. So the requirement is they've won tournaments, a couple. They don't have to be like top 16 all the time, but they've won tournaments and they are a little bit on the older side. Who would that be? I don't know. I'm trying to think off the top of my head. All right, so I'm going to let the players go. After this one, we start. Cheers. All right, so they're doing their last pick and ban, and then we're going to be jumping into game one here in a moment. Bad news, Turin. Look in the mirror. No. Oh, don't say that. Yeah, Alfred Berserk. No, but we're talking domination. Own goal. Yeah, Tim. How old is it? Alfred? Alfred does like land battle and conquest. Berserk, yeah, Berserk would qualify for sure because he's competed at high level domination, and Ulrich as well. How old are Berserk and Ulrich? Boss House also got some years. I think it might be. Oh God. All right, well, they're ready. Let me check here. Just wrapping up their last one. Okay. Boss House says, yeah, I'm 36. How old is Berserk? And how old is Ulrich is the question. Yeah, I don't know their ages. I know, isn't Umai? He's relatively, he's older, right? He's around my age, maybe a little bit older, but I don't know if he competes in domination anymore. God, I really hope in future Total War games we just get like one game mode for everyone. It sucks so bad that the community's like a little bit fractured in Total War competitive. It's like, yeah, it's a little silly. Yeah, birthday's coming up. Yeah, I know the joke is that it's every day, but it actually is coming up July 12th. The time is upon us. I wasn't ready to hear the answer. That's right. All right. Oh, we're even going to get some Nurgle matches tonight? That's exciting. I think we have a Nurgle Warriors of Chaos match a little bit later. I'm seeing the players doing their picks and bans right now, so we're giving you guys a play-by-play. Your hands are like 68. I don't know. We'll see. My new medicine just arrived today, so if it works, then maybe I will be able to rewind time a little bit. We'll have to see. Yeah, because in most RTS games, like StarCraft and Warcraft 3 is a little bit different. The competitive players in Warcraft 3 are older, but in a lot of RTS games, you get you get Lassied or you get Old Yellard pretty early on. They take you out back behind the barn. Yeah, in like StarCraft and in Total War, not so much. You could definitely be older in Total War and compete, I think. Because there's factions that don't require as much insane APM. Or like APM is one of the biggest issues that you kind of lose as you get older, right? Yeah. StarCraft, though, you definitely get retired pretty quickly. And then from there, the graveyard for RTS players, I would say the graveyard for RTS players, like from other, most games in general, is like auto battlers are one of the big ones. Because it still has some components of the RTS, but you don't need a micro really, or you don't need to be quick. Yeah, I was actually, when we were on stream with Grubby a while back, we were talking about how auto battlers are like the graveyard for old RTS sweats. I think that's so true. Yeah. RTS and Grand Strategy and auto battler games are the ones that RTS players usually retire on. Yeah. Okay. Let's do it. Have fun. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for your patience. We've allowed some people to arrive, and now we're going to get started. It's going to be Beastmen versus Dork Elves here in the first game. Mechabellum is great. Exactly, yeah. When I play auto battler games, it kind of scratches that same itch, that I get from RTS to an extent. Not quite, but it's close, so I can see how if there ever comes a time where the RTS is too, I can't compete anymore, and I like to be competitive. I mean, I think I'll be playing RTS till I'm old as hell, even if I'm losing, but... What are the factions with the lowest APM? That's a good question. Tim, do you have an answer for that? What factions are the best for low APM players? Because I play competitive, but I only play 3 or 4 factions competitively. So my knowledge from like an APM perspective is only limited to those. So maybe there will be some folks in chat who can give you those. Yeah, dwarves don't require a ton of APM. Yeah, that's true. They certainly don't. Factions with mobility and light cavalry usually require the most, right? APM stands for actions per minute. So it's like vampire counts. Oh yeah, vampire counts, you literally just move your blobs in and then micro your lord, and that's like it. Vampire counts are such a low APM faction. They are, yeah. In land battle, they used to be kind of sweaty because of like, you know, all the magic shenanigans and whatnot. But vampire counts and dwarves for sure, like boomer-friendly factions. All right. Khorne to an extent. It depends. Khorne can be very fast, actually, though. Yeah. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Game 1 in tonight's Best of 9 show match. We are on the wrong tab here, so let's switch that over. That should fix in a second. Is it going to correct? There it is. All right. So welcome to Game 1 in tonight's show match. All right, it's going to be the Dark Elves, an extremely high APM faction, helmed by HitmanHippo, facing off against Stingers on the other side. Stingers going to be on the very powerful Beastmen, who are usually considered to be a pretty good counter against Dark Elves, but all the picks and bans were done. Basically with a very complex 3x3 system, which ensures fair matchups. So you're not going to walk into a really bad matchup unless you want it. So clearly in this case, HitmanHippo wants his fight. Now taking a look at the build, it is going to be Dork Riders in the woods, and 3 Dark Riders in the front. So mass mobility coming out from the Dark Elves, going to be trying to contest the Beastman mobility as well. We got Harpies up in the sky for a little bit of a, harass and maybe diving on some Ungors or Centaurs. Cold One Knight, Scourge Hunter Chariots, and Big Mama Marathi is going to be up in the house with Soul Stealer, Melkoths, and Power of Darkness. And she's a very good anti-large fighter too, so her utility against Beastmen is very, very nice actually. On the backside, for the Great Stingers, the champion of RTK, it is going to be Ungors in the front, Ungor Raiders in the back line, and here we do have a couple cows coming in. So the Butchers of Kalkengard and the Doom Bull. Super cool. We love seeing the Doom Bull in action. He's running with the herd. The Stampede is on its way. And a massive Beastman Vanguard. Very, very meta. Beastmen love to just get all up on your back objective with Vanguard units, and that's one of the reasons why they're so strong. Ungor Raiders with the Brave Shaman of Shadows back here, and Centaurs with Great Uppins to try and counter Cold One Knights. Crows of Cain do get afflicted by Melkoths. And out of the gates, we do see Objective 2 going to the Dark Elves. Objective 3 probably going to be taken by Beastmen, but it was initially taken by the Dark Elves. And Objective 1 most likely going to end up in the clutches of the Bray Herd, as Marathi maybe thinks about diving on that Brave Shaman, but it looks like it's not going to be the case. Yeah, we do get some frontline fighting already. Ungor Raiders getting swarmed by the mass Druki mobility. Now, this should not be happening. The Beastmen should have Centaurs all over the place right now, shutting this shit down. But nonetheless, one Ungor Raider here is going to get taken to Ungabunga land, and the other Ungor Raider taking some big damage, but it at least has support of some Ungor Spears, which are going to be able to drag down a lot of these Dark Riders and make it a little bit more fair for them, right? On the back objective, Beastmen do secure it. Centaurs going to be coming in. Centaurs do pretty well against Dark Riders, but in the front, the Ungor Spearman herds also being taken out by the Scourge Hunter Chariot. So HitmanHippo unleashing the full arsenal of the Druki, who have been having a bit of a renaissance lately. We've been seeing them get some, high-level wins in tournaments, which is very, very fun to see. But the Bulls are on parade, ladies and gentlemen. Stinger's going to be moving up with his Centaurs. We do see the Doom Bull and several units of Minotaurs getting ready to engage in the middle, with Pestigors being the call-in here. Pestigors are a good generalist unit here because they'll trade well enough into Dark Riders, but they'll also fight Cold One Knights well. So I don't hate that. Now, on the backside, we do also see a unit of Doomfire Warlocks. Very, very interesting. Curious to see what their application is going to be here. As the battle rages on, HitmanHippo does pull a value lead. His home objective, of course, does belong to the Beastmen, and the Beastmen also have their home objective, but the middle objective is in the clutches of the Dark Elves. So the Dark Elves are basically investing their entire army trying to karate chop and value trade. Instead of trying to play the objectives, you can see there's a couple idle units here for Stingers. The Dark Elf army is mass mobility, mass alpha strike, looking for weak positions and just trying to isolate here, really. Melkoth's activated on the Cold One Knights. That is going to be the Beastcaster, the Brave Shaman, and it's very, very good against these guys. And there are going to be some big, scary Minotaurs with Great Uppins coming after them. The big bonkin' sticks are out. Very cool color scheme for the Beastmen. It's kind of like almost Nurgle-esque. But they do get into combat, and that is going to be a big loss for HitmanHippo, as he does end up losing a Cold One Knight there. But the Brave Shaman was surrounded. Did he manage to get away? Yes, he did. So the Brave Shaman does weasel away, as the Dark Elves are going to be kind of pulling back and trying to figure things out here, maybe looking to Alpha Strike on the back point here. And even though, yes, these are Ungor Spears, they're still pretty low leadership. So with enough unit, especially some Harpies, you can surround them and envelop them with Marathi, and you can break them off that point, even if it's something that is going to be a relative counter to those. Now, middle objective still owned by the Dark Elves. Back point here is going to be ninja'd by the Dark Elves here, so they're bringing in their Dark Riders. But the Beastmen are going to be responding with Centaurs here. So the Centaurs have arrived, and they are going to be charging into the Dark Riders here. Now, you could do a Dark Rider charge head-on and then flank with the other two around the back. Granted, I think that's a bad idea, considering there is an advancing Bray Shaman here who's going to be able to help with his magic and really turn the tide of the fight. And the Dark Elves are trying to wrestle this objective here, but honestly, the Beastmen are starting to look a little bit scary on the objectives here. You know, they're getting it going. So the middle objective is going to be flipping as the Beastmen kind of park down their good quality units here. The Centaurs and the Pestigors. Scourge Runner Chariots are poking the Minotaurs, which is good. So they're using their ballistas. You could actually see a Minotaur fall right there as the DPS continues to add up. And HitmanHippo certainly having to micro very, very hard right now. This Dark Elf army, the way he's playing this mass mobility style, is very reminiscent of how Anticity likes to play. But it's a very, very high micro, high skill style to play. Now, as far as the accolades of these players, they have both won a lot of tournaments in the past, but between the two of them, HitmanHippo is the only one who has won a major event. So HitmanHippo did win one of the official Creative Assembly tournaments, which are highly competitive. Those in tandem with the Total Tavern Season Finals are the most competitive events we have in the community here. So, Dark Riders rerouting to the middle. Dark Elves trying to get their home objective back. Beastmen are holding the middle pretty firmly. Back objective taken by the Beastmen as well. Dark Elves are going to be sitting at a value lead of about 1,000, which is, not bad at all. But, with the mass mobility, they don't have a lot to effectively deal with all these spears. So Dark Elves trying to wrestle this point. They're going to be moving off it as the Beastmen do call in their Centaurs, advance up the spears, and also get the Butchers of Giga Chad in there. Dude, Anticity, you're an absolute fiend with those mobile units, dude. Yeah, man, it's crazy watching the stuff you can pull off. There was a really good game where Oishi the other day, I don't know if you guys have seen it, but he was using one of my new favorite things I've seen. He was using Mother Ostankia, Griffin Legion, and melting the armor of his opponent's army using the Curse of the Hag Witch. It's a Lord of Hag spell, and it was just like getting crazy value against things that normally counter Griffin Legion. It was super impressive. But the Dark Elves do force the Beastmen away from the spears. See how the spears are a little bit out of position here? Then they bring in the Cold Wind Knights, but the Beastmen player immediately retreats back to the Butchers of Kalkengard, so Stinger's able to get those guys away. And over here we do have a big pit fight as well. It is going to be a couple units here. We got Cold Wind Knights as well as the Dark Riders. But overall, probably not going to go super well. I mean, the Centaurs will definitely lose the Cold Wind Knights, but with the Pestigors in the mix here with their great weapons, they're going to be very big pests in the side here of these units, and the Cold Wind Knights are going to start getting folded up, and this is going to end up being a loss for the Dark Elves here. But Dark Elves are maintaining a little bit of value, and if they can Alpha Strike this position, if they can get all these units and somehow get the Butchers of Giga Chad Kalkengard down, that's going to be very, very nice, but that is easier said than done, ladies and gentlemen. Some more Cold Wind Knights on the way out. Scourge Runner Chariot's going to be shooting into the back of the Butchers of Kalkengard as Stingers attempts to get the back objective here. Beastmen do have the objective advantage. So they got objective 1. They actually have a triple cap right now, which is very, very bad for the Druchii. But this is one of those games where the Dark Elves aren't really playing the objectives too hard. Big AoE Soul Stealer there is very, very nice. Rather, what the Dark Elf army is trying to do is it's trying to just value trade and then eventually sweep their opponent off the table once the value advantage is so big. So Cold Wind Knights charging into spear is really, really not good for them. I mean, they're good against the Butchers, but overall going to be very tough. And we do see Marathi landing in there. So does she have her AoE debuffs? Did she bring the Enchanting Beauty and the Heartrender and the Dark Sword? I don't know why players don't bring that. I feel like it's an extremely good item, especially with this style of play. But Scourge Runners moving in. Centaurs do get folded. The spears are steady, but there's a lot of chariots coming in. The Butchers of Kalkengard getting a little bit low, as a lot of the Velociraptor Knights are able to get some nice attacks against those. And you do see the Butchers of Kalkengard getting folded up there a little bit. So this is a nice victory for the Druchii. Granted, a lot of value was traded for it. On the back point, the Beastmen do end up losing these troops, and the Butchers of Kalkengard most likely will be chased. Now the question is, do the Dark Elves have enough time to retake the field against the Beastmen? The Beastmen in the middle, they do have the Doom Bull. We have some Minotaurs back here. Centaurs coming in. Pestigors going to be hanging out on the objective. But yeah, a pretty decisive little alpha strike here on the back by the army of the Dark Elves. And we do see some Witch Elves being brought out, which is good. Witch Elves are going to be absolutely massacring Pestigors in combat. They'll beat Gores. They'll honestly trade well into pretty much all the Beastmen infantry. The one that might give them the most trouble, would it be like a Zangor maybe? Probably, because they have the physical res and the magic damage. But, Pestigors, Corn Gores, things like that, they're going to trade very, very well into. Couple Witch Elves moving up in the middle, but being attacked by Minotaurs and also by Centaurs. It's going to be tough. We have some Blackheart Corsairs here, and now the Druchii are going to be advancing out. Granted, the Beastmen are really relentless on this back objective, ladies and gentlemen. We see more Centaurs, more Gore Herds coming out, that's going to be tough to deal with. They're very good quality units. There are some Witch Elves being left in the back objective, so maybe with very cagey micro, the Witch Elves could take down the infantry and the Scourge Runner Chariot could cycle charge here. Hey, Daru, thank you so much for becoming a channel member. I greatly appreciate you, boss. Thank you so much for joining. And welcome to the Dukes of Haggard, my friend. All right, so taking a look at the battle. Objective number 1 is owned by Dark Elves, and they need a triple cap. You know, the Beastmen are super far ahead on points. Beastmen are one of the best factions in the game, and there's a reason why they're probably the second best faction in the entire game, in my opinion, is that their objective pressure is really, really nuts. But the Dark Elves do have a respectable value lead, but is it going to be enough to close this game out? So Scourge Runners in the back, as well as the Witch Elves trying to chew through these, and it is going to be forcing the Dark Elves to come back. Now, a Ninja opportunity on the backside, I don't think it's going to work out, but, you know, if your opponent's not paying attention, like a little Gremlin play like this coming in from HitmanHippo could be very, very nice, right? Marathi getting a snipe on the Bray Shaman could also be a big play. Bray Shaman is on a chariot. Marathi's anti-large bonus is no joke. But yeah, man, the Beastmen aggression is so freaking brutal. And we do see the Dark Elves really consolidating in the middle with multiple infantry units. But during this entire time, you know, there's a lot of units on the back objective. Marathi, of course, doesn't have capture weight, being a flying unit. Dark Rider's going to be brought in. If the Dark Elves lose this back point, that's probably going to be game blouses for them. So I think that they really, really need to hold on to that. And we do see some back pressure as well, as the unit of Dark Rider is going to be heading towards Objective 3, which actually is kind of a fortuitous counter against this unit right here, right? We do have the advancing Ungor Raiders, and the Ungor Raiders will get run over by the Dark Riders. So I think that's a really, really nice play there. We'll see how that works out. And they're probably going to sit off the objective and just shoot, which is most likely the smart play there. On the back objective, Marathi is forced to come back, but this is a nice play by Stinger. So even though he's kind of throwing away value here to the Dark Elves, he's forcing his opponent to play on the back objective. So instead of actually going up and getting the points, which is exactly what he needs, you know, he's forcing his opponent back there, which is going to buy him time. Now, his opponent is going to be approaching 1,250 points. The back objective here is going to be a disastrous loss for the Dark Elves. So what you need to do when you see a Centaur unit coming in, you've lost this. So take those Dark Riders over to the middle, Alpha Strike objective 2, and then just get your steamroller and try and get the third objective there at the end. Corsair's arriving. Doombull, though, is a problem. I mean, he's a tanky fighter. He provides very good, sustainable 3 capture weight. He's going to be punching some of these guys in the face for sure. It looks like he's set his sights on the chariots and is going to be zipping over. Oh, he gets bonked! Knocked over by the spokes of the chariot. Classic Doombulls. Always absolutely hilarious. So, advancing up, we do see the Beastmen holding onto the point. Back objective, it is going to be the Witch Elves. They should be able to fight off the Gore Herds, although those Gore Herds are pretty numerous. 63 against 23. Probably not. Witch Elves are going to lose that. And yeah, they need to get all the objectives here, which is tough. Dark Riders in the woods battling Centaurs. Centaurs will probably have the advantage overall. And we are going to be seeing another Dark Rider unit being called out. Yep, they are going to be advancing. So just pure desperation, knowing he needs to get all 3 objectives. But time is really, really running short here. The Dark Elf Army and the Scourge Runner Chariots are doing good work running over a lot of these units. Marathi going to be dropping a Melkos, which is going to do some nice damage against the Pestigors here, which are very, very healthy. But the Dark Elves are actually getting folded here in the middle a little bit. Like, all the Chariots are breaking. The sustained armor piercing of the Pestigors in tandem with the Doombulls, just big, heavy hits. Probably going to seal the deal here in Game 1. That is for sure. So, ladies and gentlemen, it does look like the Beastmen are going to be showing why they're going to be reinforcing my beliefs that this seems to be an extremely hard matchup for the Dark Elves. Granted, you know, the times I've seen the Dark Elves get run over in this matchup have usually been when they go infantry heavy, but the mobility play from the Dark Elves wasn't bad. I can't help but wonder how a couple Dark Riders with repeater crossbows would have been in the mix to put a little bit of Daka down and free up positions, but that is going to be Game 1 going to Stingers and RTK. Let's hear those happy moves, guys. Get those happy moves going. The Beastmen, you know, they're going to be eating well tonight. So it's going to be Game 1 for our boy Stingers, and now we are going to be getting ready to go straight into Game 2. The Beastie Boys have done it. Cool build. Yeah, it was good. You know, the Ungor Spheres were cost effective. The Centaurs, a lot of solid stuff. Good play on both sides. Very, very high micro from HitmanHippo, but he wasn't quite able to get the value lead he was looking to get. All right. So, what is map number 2 going to be in today's series? Let me check this, and here we go. GG being dropped by both players. Awesome sauce. And we're going to be on another pretty big map, Scalandier's Cave. So, I don't know. I haven't read the matchups yet, but I assume there's going to be a high elf pick here. Yeah, that would be my wager. Yeah, I think it's coming. Yeah, the happy moves are here. Yes. Rise, champions, rise. Oh, Bretonia. Is there a Bretonia pick from Stingers? Interesting. The fact that he's sitting on Bretonia makes me think that's what he's playing here in map number 2. And we're going to find out what... oh, Bretonia versus Ogre Kingdoms. Oh, man. Okay. Now, the Green Knight is going to need to carry this one pretty hard. But because historically the ogres have been a very hard counter against Bretonnia, but once the forbidden arts of the Green Knight were discovered, it really changed things because he's pretty good against the big monsters. Really good assassin, very tough. So I would imagine he carries this game if the Bretonnia is able to win. Yeah. All right, guys. So this is going to be game 2 in tonight's best of 9. So for a player to win this, they need to win 5 games. So at the very least, you guys are going to get 5 games. But I do not think this is going to be a 5-0 sweep on either side. I think it's going to be a pretty contested series. Yeah, I think it will. You don't even have cow emotes. I know. We need to get more emotes for all the homies on YouTube and Twitch. I need to do that. Yeah, Anticity. Yeah, you better get practicing, dude. A little bit of Warcraft 3. Your opponents are putting in some grind, man. You got to remember, Anticity. You are like the avatar champion of the Total War community in this Warcraft 3 tournament. You know, you're representing all the Total War players in the Warcraft 3 event. Orange Pest is also. It's basically you and Orange Pest, but you know you're definitely more involved in Total War. So we need you to get those reps in, dude. Your opponents have their elo's been climbing. We've had a couple of people break 1400 elo. I think Orange Pest is about 1400. He's like 1350, 1400. No, he's 1400 now. Orange Pest is 1400, I think. Yeah, I'll have to double check. But you have time. The tournament's not for a while. I mean, you still have a 10 days before the tournaments, I think. So if you get your grind going a couple days before, you should be good. It's going to be very fun. I'm super excited for it. We have our top 8 players. So for the Warcraft 3 tournament, we have Davok, which is super exciting. I love watching Davok play games. He's awesome. Of course, you know him. We've played Company of Heroes, and Dune Spice Wars is his jam. He's a great YouTuber as well. But he qualified with Night Elves. We have Dream, Anticity, Ewak, who is Orange Pest's brother. Neo is going to be our Pit Lord player, who I'm very excited to see him in action. Orange Pest, Durank, and Scalo. So these are all players from our Discord and our community who have qualified for the event. So the winner is going to be earning a custom ordered trophy. So we are going to be hiring a professional miniature designer to design a mini with the face of the winner imprinted on the hero of their choosing from Warcraft 3. And then my wife and I are going to paint it as a trophy, and we're going to send it out. Which is honestly, like, I think that prize is really fun. I think maybe we'll do something like that with Total War. Like for some of the upcoming major events for Total War Warhammer, I think I might offer that as a prize. Like that would be really fun. You know, like whatever faction is your favorite, you can get like a trophy painted and it's going to say like first place, and then it's going to have the mini like planted on top, which is going to be very fun. Yeah, I think that would be really, really cool. All right, players are ready. Here we go. Bretonnia vs. Ogre Kingdoms, and we're going to be loading in. But yeah, let's get it. GLHF. All right, Alberic. I mean, he's anti-large, so that makes a lot of sense. And he's going to be teaming up with the Green Knight. No surprises there. And Royal Hippogriff Knights are also very good, too. So I would say, despite the Green Knight, this matchup's probably still favored for Ogre Kingdoms. But it's not insurmountable, right? Like the last matchup was favored, but it was still a close game. And in this case, I think this is the matchup where HitmanHippo wants to get back. He wants to get back in it, you know? Almost as prestigious. Well, we could only send the Applebee's gift card to the winner of the tournament if... yeah, we could only do the Applebee's gift card if they were in the United States. I don't think Applebee's exists in any other countries. All right. Ladies and gentlemen of the old world, welcome to Game 2 in tonight's Best of 9 show match. It is going to be Stingers, the mighty champion of RTK, facing off against the champion of the Rat Clan, HitmanHippo. And let's go ahead and break it down. So taking a look at the Ogre's army, it's going to be a vanguard of trappers, which is always good. Get up, get the objectives quickly. They're a good chaff unit, too. We do have basic Noblars. Pigback Riders are very, very good against Bretonnia. Anti-large spears, what's not to love. And Lead Belchers. So this is going to be a very, very, like, counter-punchy build. So basically what HitmanHippo's going to do, he's probably going to roll his army, like, over here. Deploy some shooting on the high ground. Cover these 2 objectives and just play the middle and use that artillery. You'd hang the gift card on the wall if you won. There you go. I'm gonna hold you to that. If we do end up giving out an Applebee's gift card, yeah, truly good stuff. But yeah, so basically the Ogre army is defensive, Noblars in the front to tank, And the man-eaters with great weapons are there to deal with the heavy cavalry and monsters as they try and shut down the lead belchers. Very simplistic style, very, very strong. All right, guys, taking a look here at the army of Stingers. Stinger's going to be coming in a little bit of a confidence boost with the Game 1 victory. You know, from what I sensed in the pregame chat between these two players, it did seem like Stingers thought he was not, you know, he was saying that HitmanHippo has a little bit stronger experience than him. So, you know, it's probably a big confidence booster for him to get that first W out of the gates against a very, very skilled opponent here. So yeah, Green Knight and Alberic both going to be able to punch through the Ogre armor and anti-large there from Alberic, but interesting seeing Alberic on horseback, which means he's going to be teaming up with Green Knight, and what's really cool about that is potentially going to be giving Green Knight anti-large. Oh, he did not. Oh, he brought the anti-large at him. Okay, he did. So yeah, Green Knight is going to get a bonus for its large of 12 if they stick together, which is crazy, crazy good. Royal Hippogriff Knights, and on the back it is going to be your Spearmen at Arms with shields, as well as Peasant Bowmen. And Peasant Bowman here. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that is going to be it. Grail Relique. So the big hard carries of this matchup for Bretonia are going to be these pieces here. It's going to be Green Knight, it's going to be Alberic, it's going to be the Royal Hippogriff Knights. They're going to be coming overhead. So these show matches, I think, are really fun. It's kind of like, it gives you guys a peek into hyper-competitive play before season finals. Because, you know, the SFTs, you don't necessarily see the most meta matchups, and you also don't see as much range as these, which is fun, but Horse Lords have been making a comeback. I love to see it, man. Always, the meta of this game is pretty good. It's like, it's constantly changing, and there's a lot of room for innovation in Total War Competitive, which is fun. So, yep, little Gremlin's going to be grabbing the objectives and throwing their Ninja Stars in and getting a little bit of free damage against Alberic, but they're going to be skewering some of these guys for sure. And Green Knight might even be able to terror out them kind of quickly. We'll have to see how that goes. Are the Hippos going to move in? Yeah, they probably don't want to. The Lead Belchers, a very fun unit. In tabletop, they're not super great to my knowledge. But what's cool about them is they load up forks and knives and scrap metal, and they get their big shotguns. And in Total War Warhammer, they're an amazing unit. One of the best units on the Ogre Kingdom's roster, in my opinion. On the outside, we do see Spearmen at Arms moving up with Peasant Bowmen as well. So the outside objective here is going to be going to Bretonia, and looks like the Ogres will get their clutches on the other two objectives. Mornfang Cavalry called in, most likely going to go up and grab that point. And we pretty much, called the Ogre playstyle. They're just going to park on that hill with their guns, hang out, and oh, what the hell is this? A Bretonian Trebuchet in the back. All right, look at that. So the Trebuchet is going to be shooting into what appears to be the Lead Belchers. And whoa, who would have thought that it would actually do good here against these guys? We see like 2 of the Lead Belchers going down, but the Lead Belchers already getting some good value out of the gates, as we do see the Royal Hippogriff Knights being chased back. They do manage to break the Noblars off the objective, which is nice, you know, so that gets rid of the Ogre Kingdom's capture weight, and then the Green Knight and Alberic are able to get some bread there. And the Forbidden Trebuchet tech, look at this, it's actually kind of killing these. Are we going to see a second Trebuchet being called out for Bretonia? I don't think it'd be a bad idea, because in the front, we do see Stingers getting blasted pretty good. Alberic is eating a lot of damage. He's already down to about half health, and that is a really rough start, taking that much damage on your Lord. Ogre Kingdom's shooting is really no joke. It can add up, it can do a lot of damage, and it is very, very menacing indeed. On the backside, just 1 Trebuchet for Bretonia. Bretonia is sitting on 1,700 supplies. Really makes me think what they're banking for there. Dude, I'm kind of thinking, man, that get a second freaking Trebuchet. This is the only thing that's doing work in the Bretonian army right now. Get 2 of those bad boys and park them on the Lead Belchers, knock those things offline, and then Alpha Strike, man. So the peasants have secured objective 3, and you can see the Bretonian army is going to be mustering here, getting ready to advance with this infantry up on the point. The Blessed Field Trebuchet dropping the blessings of the lady, some hot steaming blessings on the face of these ogres, and you can see these guys do get crushed by giant boulders. They are resilient, but still it is going to be hurting. Dude, is he parking the Green Knight in front of Alberic to absorb the shots? Or is that just a kind of a random positioning that he had? Either way, that's pretty cool. Ogres do have the 1 objective, and the 2 objectives are going to be going to Bretonia as the Blessed Trebuchets in the back continue shooting, and now we're going to be getting Royal Pegasus Knights. Okay. So Pegasus Knights are pretty good against Ogres. They have anti-large, so magic damage is, I don't know how relevant that is against them, but yeah, still should be good against Lead Belchers if they can shut them down. And we see 1 unit of Lead Belchers is getting hunted, and the Green Knight is going to be doing what he does best and being used as a heat-seeking missile to go after targets. Not actually going to be retreating there. Could have probably sent the Green Knight in and gotten a break on the Lead Belchers, but, you know, he opts to pull them back to be a little bit more conservative, which was respectable. But the Royal Hippogriff Knights down to 12 models. I mean, they're going to start losing models real quick here. We do see the Ogres up in value as the Pegasus Knights are going to be flying overhead. So the idea is to use the Pegasus Knights to kill the Lead Belchers, but with the Man-Eaters waiting nearby with their giant pimp canes, it's not going to be super good. These big Chunguses are just going to beat the brakes off anything that lands nearby. That is for freaking sure. Alberic is engaged in the front, and the brave sons and daughters of Bretonnia are going to be charging in. There's the damsel back there, and the terror route immediately goes down on the pigback rider. So the pigback rider is going to be getting routed and pushed back as the terror route does go down. And maybe some of the spears are going to be able to push in. Pegasus Knight's looking for an opportunity. We do see the peasant archers in the back doing really good damage against the man-eaters, actually, which is quite nice. And now Alberic and the Green Knight going to be diving into the secondary, and it looks like they will get their clutches on some lead belchers here. And the Green Knight is going to be staying with Alberic. But now the man-eaters are going to be responding and basically throwing a Pegasus Knight to the dogs. This Pegasus Knight unit is going to get crushed because the man-eaters, the Mournfang Cav, they're all going to be collapsing in. And I don't know how much I like that. I mean, it does shut down the lead belchers for a moment, but you're going to lose so many of them. You guys see all the models that are trapped right here? Those ones are going to get crumped, right? The ogres have really good mass, so diving them is very risky. Now, in the backfield, Alberic and the Royal Hippogriff Knight's going to be trying to fight against the man-eaters. This is a pretty big fight here. This is a very big one for Bretonnia. Stinger's going to need to get the dub right now. In this fight, it looks like the Hippogriff Knight's going to be pulling back. The peasants holding valiantly, but during all the fighting, the Ogre Kingdoms were able to get the roster back, and the Pegasus Knights got crumped. And, you know, man, if there's one takeaway from this game, it is get freaking multiple of these Blessed Field Trebuchets and just blast down these freaking lead belchers. The Trebs have been so freaking good here. I mean, they literally took out a lead belcher unit, and it's just one. If there had been two, Bretonnia wouldn't need to take such reckless engagements to penetrate the backfield, you know? Hippogriff Knights still have 12 of 12 models, so their fighting capacity is pretty good. Alberic and the Green Knight fighting shoulder to shoulder. A little bit of firepower coming in from Bretonnia. It is going to be some of the archers, maybe breaking the man-eaters. Pigback Riders getting terrified. Green Knight and Alberic, are they going to be able to put this game on their back? I don't know. We're going to have to see. Now we get some Knights of the Realm coming in, so they did come through the flank here. And Bretonnia going to be bringing out its heavy cavalry, which is the coolest part of the roster. And is that a regrowth on Alberic? Some sort of a heal going down. It might have been an Earthblood as well. But yeah, the Green Knight and Alberic trying to carry this game, and they're certainly getting a little bit of progress, as this game is actually kind of close, and it does look like the Bretonians are doing pretty well in the frontal grind, and the Hippogriff Knights, despite being very beat up, still generating some respectable value. Pegasus Knights, not so much. They kind of got crumped, only got 500 value here, and one of the Knights of the Realm in the back, unfortunately, does get intercepted by a Man-Eater and some Pigback Riders, so this is going to be uber cost-effective for the Ogre Kingdoms. The little Gremlins are going to tank a lot of the damage, and yeah, they're also Pigback Riders, so they do have anti-large bonus. Knights of the Realm here are getting folded up, while Alberic does get destroyed here. So Alberic gets taken down. He's at 369 HP. That's what she said. Trebuchet shots still raining in, but Bretonnia is an army that definitely doesn't want to lose its lord. I mean, their baseline infantry have pretty low base leadership. I mean, you look at a Men-at-Arm Halberd over here, and yeah, Spear Men-at-Arms have base 45 leadership. So when you subtract 16 from that, which is the penalty for losing your lord initially out of the gates, it's extremely brutal. So it's basically going to come up to the King of Bretonnia. Now, I know it would be very overpowered, but if the Green Knight had the power grab ability, because he was a former ruler of Bretonnia, the Green Knight. So if maybe if the Bretonian ruler or army lord dies, he could assume the reins of command once more from the ghostly realm. I think that would be such a cool flavor win. Granted, it'd probably be unfair, but you know, considering how strong he already is, maybe it's an ability that you make him more expensive and have to pay extra for it. But Alberic does get taken down right there, ladies and gentlemen. So he's in trouble. Bretonnia is holding on to 2 objectives during all that action. On the back, Mournfang Cavalry going to be heading over with some Noblars, maybe looking to steal objective number 3. Whereas in the middle, the Bretonians, I mean, they have a little bit of a fighting presence left. The Spearmen at Arms are only fighting because of the Grail Relic, which is still going strong nearby, so it's going to be keeping them going. But overall, they're going to have a bad time versus Sabertusk, as well as just any number of Ogre units. They're just so low leadership and such a low tier unit. They're only 250 gold, and they're going to be getting surrounded for sure. On the backside, Pegasus Knight's fleeing. Green Knight is kind of the only thing left in this game that's doing well for Bretonnia, and it does look like Bretonnia has probably lost this game. I mean, I don't know. Maybe there's something I'm missing. Maybe I'm just getting old, but I do think that this one is probably over. We see just tons of Mournfang Cavalry all around the battlefield. I think there's 3 of them here. There's one here, and then in the middle we have a Man-Eater unit. We have freaking Iron Guts coming out, another Man-Eater unit. There's so many powerful Ogre Kingdoms units, and the Bretonians, really, all their centerpieces are mostly gone except Green Knight. We basically had the Knights of the Realm getting folded up. The Pegasus Knights got folded up at 500 value. Hippogriff Knights probably did better. I would wager around 1,200 value on them, but this game's over. Stingers could obviously fight a little bit longer, but he's like a veteran player. He must know this is over. I mean, there's not really much fight that Bretonnia has left in them, but I do think Bretonnia is very capable of winning this matchup. I do. And the Trebuchet tech was my favorite element of things. Here's the thing. If Bretonnia has 2 Trebuchets nuking those lead belchers, they don't need to engage for a long time. They can engage once the lead belchers are low and then maybe move in from there. But Yeah, I think that's it. We do see the Knights of the Realm taking one valiant charge here before they run, fighting shoulder to shoulder with the former King of Bretonnia, Gilles Le Breton. But Gilles is not going to be enough to win this fight. Mournfang Cavalry are being ground down a little bit by the Beast Slayers. HitmanHippo pulling a pretty big value lead here, and the accursed Trebuchet is finally going to be taken down as the Ogre Kingdom Slayer does find an opportunity to dive into the backfield, and that is going to be karate chopping the old Trebuchets. The Saber Tusks getting it done. Professor Pone is here in Life Meta. Thank you for subscribing on Twitch. Thank you. With the tier 1 sub. Let's freaking go, brother. All right. Force back are the Blessed Field Trebuchets. And ladies and gentlemen, I think that is the end of the road. It was a fun game. Very cool to see Bretonnia in action, but HitmanHippo, showing why the Ogre Kingdoms can do some serious work against Bretonnia. And, more peasant archers would have been nice, too. If there had been a handful of peasant archers that could punish the man-eaters, that would have been very good. Knights of the Realm in the backfield going to be charge again, getting a big charge into the man-eaters. And, man-eaters, if they eat charges in open field from Knights of the Realm, they'll take a hell of a lot of damage. That is for sure. I mean, the Knights of the Realm might actually just win this. Yeah, they're looking like they are winning that. But the man-eaters were damaged when that fighting started. Bretonnia is almost tabled, so I don't know if they have much left. I think here we do see in the back, Trebuchet's offline, Grail Relique is running away over here. It's fleeing off the battlefield. Green Knight he's leading a valiant kind of resistance here in the corner. Mephisto will probably do Warcraft 3 tomorrow, most likely, I would wager. Maybe Age of Empires tomorrow, and then Warcraft 3 the next day. We'll have to see. Hey, Brusky, thank you for subscribing on Twitch as well. Thank you, guys. Right on. Hell yeah, let's get that engine going, baby. So Men-at-Arms moving up to the point, getting a little bit of capture weight. Maybe Stinger thinks he can claw his way back in the game. I respect that, though. He still has a little bit of fight left in him with the Green Knight. He is getting some okay engagements with some overextending Ogre units, like back here. But there's, having been a veteran caster of this game at a competitive level for 8 or 9 years, I would say there's no chances for Bretonnia. Because the problem is, even if Bretonnia does start to claw back a little bit of value and get this objective here, the Ogres are just farming points so freaking hard. Dao 2. Oh, that's right. Professor Pone gets home from his vacation and he wants to play Dawn of War 2. So I guess that's what we're doing tomorrow. All right. So on we go. The Green Knight going to be charging in. But that was his last hoorah. GG, well played. And the series is equalized. It would seem as if the glorious show matches are bringing out the best of all these players. The series have been contested in all of the show matches henceforth. But yeah, Alberic getting crushed. The shooting of the Ogres was just too cost effective, right? And it's very simple why the Ogres won. Their shooting was online, got a shit ton of value. When Bretonnia tried to stop the shooting, it lost the assets it was trying to shut down the shooting with, and that was basically game blouses. So, yeah, GG, well played. Big Leadbelcher value, 1,100, 2,400 here. And obviously the Mournfangs and Pigback Riders, very, very strong here as well. All right, guys. GG, well played. So, let's take a look at the next matchup here. Oh, it looks like it's going to be the Blood Gods Chosen. It is going to be Khorne coming in Game 3. So, we are going to be on It's-a-Me, Itza. So, it's a very cool map. It is small, but it is fun. And there we have it. All right. So, perfect. Everything looks good. And it's going to be Kislev versus Khorne. So, the Warhammer 3... Sorry about that. The Warhammer 3 launch matchup, which is great. Little Warhammer 3 launch, always good times. Splunky, yeah, Bretonnia, they could add Foot Knights. They do have Foot Squires, which are basically Foot Knights. But they're good, Foot Squires are good in a handful of matchups. They're just not good against Ogres because they're an anti-infantry unit. The Beast Slayers of Bastogne and Battle Pilgrims are actually very stalwart. They hold for a long time. So I think Bretonnia isn't in the worst shape with like stalwart infantry. All right. So let's get that. And how are we looking here? Everything's looking good. Thank you so much to our new subscribers and our new channel members over on YouTube as well. Thank you guys for joining. Bretonnia needs an order version of Aspiring Champions, like Foot Grail Knights. Oh my god, they would be so strong. Bretonnia would shoot up to like an S tier faction if you did that. If you kept them with the Green Knight, because Aspiring Champions are such a good unit. They're insanely good. Like Wrathmongers, Aspiring Champions, all those infantry that have like insane HP per model and really good staying power are so good. Yeah, they're so freaking good. All right, so players going to build out their armies for Itza, and then we should be good to go from there. Yes. Let's freaking get it. Empire's fine with their spears. Yeah, Empire Spearmen are amazing. Like Empire Shielded Spearmen, they have like almost 40 melee defense for like, what, 300 something gold? It's an absolute steal, I think. Yeah. People always are like, oh, the Empire is such trash infantry. And yes, they're low quality in terms of like, you know, if you don't include cost effectiveness, but Empire State Troopers are actually pretty sturdy for what you're paying for. I feel like, at least. Yes. You know, Anticity needs to win with Nurgle, dude. You know, that's the... He needs to answer the Plague Father's calling. I know you've won with Bretonnia and with Grand Cathay, but we need you to win an SFT with Nurgle, Anticity. You need to embrace the Plague Father. See, that's probably more of a challenge, right? Because it's like their style is probably so different than what you play a lot. I think you would win. I think Anticity would win with Nurgle within a week. Like, oh, you already won with Nurgle? Okay, yeah. I was gonna say if he just picked it up just once, okay, got it. Yeah, I would say like he would have a tournament win within a week, for sure. That's what I was gonna say. When the game start? Hey, so Sonika, thank you for joining. Firstly, we are on game 3, and the players are building their armies, and I expect the game to start here in the next like 3 or 4 minutes. Yeah, so. It's best of 9 today's showdown, so let me include that in the title. Frost, if you could add that to the Twitch stream, just that it's best of 9, that'd be great. But yeah, it is going to be a game 3 here. Bretonnia is very hard to play. They're a hard to play faction, yeah, but they can win. They can win. Their win rate's been doing pretty good ever since people discovered Green Knight. And Khorne is ready, and we're going to see Kislev here in a moment from Stingers. In the RTK duel. Keep dropping this damn thing. Goddamn thing. Friggin' thing sucks. Ah, that's good stuff right there. So yeah, Khorne Gore is pretty good here. Minotaurs are going to probably see some play. I don't know if we'll see a Skull Cannon. There was a time where the double dreaded Skull Cannon was very meta. Then they did get nerfed. They were a little bit strong. Yeah, Green Knight is pretty cracked. He is. He's like the glue. He's like the Homer Simpson meme. Like the Green Knight is a unit that holds together the Bretonnian faction. How do you guys dissolve super glue? You just spilled it all over your Necron. Ooh, that's tough. I actually don't know. I know when people strip paint off models, they use a couple different things, but yeah, I'm not sure about that. That's a good question. I mean, you know what? You could just embrace it if it's like just a line infantry model. And super glue is actually good for doing like oil or like different type of effects. So if you have super glue on the model, you could actually just like paint it green, and then you could like highlight it with a lighter shade of green. It would look like plasma or something coming off the model maybe. Or you could just find a way to strip it. Yeah, obviously. There's no going back from that. Yeah. Probably just add it to the model effect, you know? Like, use it as a foundation to add some sort of a cool effect. Get a little creative with it. All right, guys. Let's freaking get it. Let's have some fun. Game 3 here. It's going to be Kislev versus Khorne on the battle for Itza Me Itza. So it is Itza. It is going to be a fast battle. This will probably be the quickest battle of the tournament. Itza is an incredibly fast map. It was our go-to map for a long time. You know, when the Game 3 launched, Domination was in a pretty haggard place, and we didn't have a lot of good maps, and this was one of the only playable ones. So, yeah, we're back where we began. Taking a look at the Khorne army, it is going to be shielded Marauders, which makes sense. Kislev with their shooting is pretty respectable, so you're going to want a fair amount of shields. The score tracker, is it not updated? Ah, it's not updated. Okay, I am what they call an idiot. It is a 1-1 series now as we load in. There we go. Thank you so much for the heads up on that, my friends. And a lot of shielded units in the front, and following up with the shielded units, it's going to be the killie unit. So basically, the Marauders go forward, they eat the shooting, and then the Bloodletters come in on the weak points. They find those targets where they don't get focus fired, right? So that's going to be good. Aside from that, we have Skulltaker on his motorcycle. Very, very meta for Khorne these days. He is an absolute menace. He's good against big targets and small targets, honestly. His stats are really good for a Chariot character. And he hits super hard. He heals. He has a buff. One of the stronger Khorne characters. Granted, Valkia is very good too. So you got some options. On the side, we got Fleshhounds, we got Marauder Horsemen, and some Furies, and a symmetrical formation. Not symmetrical, but similar on the other side. A couple Warhounds going to run up and grab those objectives. Now, Kislev is going to be doing a classic Total War battle line. You have your infantry in the front, you know, your armored Kossars with their hybrid shooting, and they're going to be backed up by layers of shooting. So we do have the archers on the side. It's going to be some Italian Spartacuses here with the mighty bald haircuts. and some horsemen here. The Winged Lancers, Streltsy, Ice Guard with swords. Oh, now Ice Guard swords are really cool in this matchup because if they get attacked by Furies, they actually kill them really quickly. And they're pretty good against demons. They have magic damage shooting, so I love that. Patriarch also going to be lurking in the back with an Ice Witch who is going to be rocking Hawks of Miska and the Gust of True Flight. All right. So who you guys rooting for? Who do you want to win? You were hoping for the Frostform build? Oh, that build is so degenerate, dude. That's like one of those builds that will drive new players into the Shadow Realm. They're just like, I don't want to play this game. The Kislev Monster Cheese is so degenerate. It's so strong. I mean, I think high-level players are capable of handling it, but even still, they lose to it quite a bit. But it's brutal. It is brutal indeed. All right, guys, on the outside, Kossar is going to be shooting into the Chaos Furies and getting a little bit of Daka right there. Yeah, they're getting it going. All right. And in the meantime, these Kossars going to be pulling back, tightening up. Kislev's win conditions here are pretty straightforward. I think it's just playing the middle two objectives. You can yield the high ground to Khorne and go for it later. Just try and get objective 2 and objective 3 and just hold those bad boys and get her done. So here, Stinger's going to be advancing. What is he doing with his Ice Witch? Is he scouting? Is he trying to like look over the hill, see what's maybe cooking back here for the Blood God? But the Kislev army going to be controlling objective 3 and objective 2. So they are pretty firm right there. And Khorne is most likely going to try a full envelop. So what you'll see is a very patient play from HitmanHippo. He's going to move his units around the sides here, get his Lord, and Alpha Strike this position while also flanking over here. Because that takes away the strength of the center pocket right here, right? I feel like we should draw a Wiener. It's been too long. It'll come out when it's natural. Maybe when we get a little bit of a Slaneshi influence tonight. I don't know. We'll have to see. But throwing axes going after Winged Lancers, missing their shots. The Kislevites, the Armored Kossars, able to drop some pistol shots. Khorne obviously is the faction that does need to advance up on the objectives, right? We do see the 2 victory points per second are going to be going to Stingers right here, so Stinger's going to be pretty comfortable on that. And I think that's pretty much exactly what's going to happen. It's going to be a big old flank here. What the hell is going on in the backfield? We have some like random ass Fleshhounds parked over here as well as some Furies. Okay, he's really going deep with those things. Probably going to be trying to take down the Ice Guard. Ice Guard are going to have a bad time versus Fleshhounds because they are anti-infantry, so that will not be super, super good for them. That is for sure. So the Khornate army is going to be gathering, but still not finding any openings to move in, being very, very cautious. You know, when you're moving into a gun line or a bow line, you know, it can be, it can be tough. You got to be very careful because if you just move in willy-nilly, just move in right away in the front, and just let your opponent give you the biz, you're going to have a bad time. The teasing, hinting at the wiener, I know it's happening. You guys better watch out. So Griffin Legion are really, really good shot cav. I mean, they're going to roll over these Marauders, and it does look like Kislev is not going to be waiting for their opponents to come to them. Rather, the Ice Witch is going to be gathering her forces, and these Marauders might be run down here. Fleshhounds are going to be running away. Griffin Legion charging uphill, so not super epic, but it still looks cool as hell. And they do get that nice little charge there, and they get their charge bonus, and are able to sandwich into the Marauders. So this position of Chaos is definitely going to be folded up. Really brutal, actually. Bloody Onslaught activated, and the Griffin Legion going to be retreating from the Lord of Khorne. The other Griffin Legion should probably just pull back and then cycle charge again. I think that's going to be very cost effective. In the meantime, Khorne is... Ooh, they better not be careful not to lose objective number 1. If they actually let Kislev flip that, that's really going to put a clock on those bad boys. You think Kislev's about to be swarmed? We'll have to see. It's a very fun matchup. Now, Fury's attacking. They do get the jump on the cavalry units, which is nice because then the cav don't get their charge bonus. So what's the Griffin Legion going to do? Are they going to run away or are they going to turn and fight? We see some Ice Guard being called up. So the elite of the Tsarina whipping those shots out, and they're able to get some nice bow shots. And they are going to be providing some magic damage. Hawks of Miska activated as well. So Kislev magic going to be ripping apart the Furies, and those Furies get crushed pretty good. Griffin Legion, though, are also going in the trash can, and we are going to be seeing the dreaded things in the woods being called out as well. So here they are. We got some weird forest Slavic werewolves battling against basically Satan's hellhounds, which is always fun. And the things in the woods won't be super good against fleshhounds, but with the archer support, maybe they will. Because we do see the Ice Guard in the back, and they are going to be getting the Gust of True Flight, which is going to be giving them a nice accuracy buff, and they're going to continue ripping shots into the demonic cohort, and the Fleshhounds here are also getting quite beat up as well. So it ends up being a bit of an even affair. I would say both players traded pretty well, and on the meantime, Kislev actually yielding its outside objective, so opting not to fight here. Rather, what they end up doing is they pull back their army, they tighten up, and Kislev is going to be switching its game plan and rotating to the high ground, looking to actually fight on objective 1 while yielding objective number 3 on the outside. We do see some cav charges going in. Griffin Legion, ooh, I don't like this. I don't like this one bit. Those Griffin Legion overextend, and he gets flanked super hard by the Chaos Warhounds. Now, he's going to be trying to escape, but he's going to take big casualties. He could salvage this by charging with the Winged Lancers and providing like a retreating charge there. I think that would be the play, and try and save as many of the Griffin Legion as you can, but as it currently stands, they're getting wrecked pretty good. Streltsy are gathering up on the high ground, so the Italian Spartacus Legion has gathered. The bald heads shining in the sun, and they are going to be taking shots into Skulltaker here, trying to shut him down, while the remnants of the Griffin Legion do come in and run over some Marauders, and the Ice Witch has summoned a Snow Leopard. So the Snow Leopard is going to be pretty good at hunting down Skulltaker and doing a little bit of damage to him. Now, the Griffin Legion was able to escape, but the Winged Lancers and the Griffin Legion here both took huge damage. That was not worth it. I think that you had the defensive position here, like why attack Khorne out there? Rather bring the Caps to the high ground and just dominate objective number 1. But, tricky stuff indeed, tricky stuff. Armored Kossars shooting into the Bloodletters of Khorne, and here we do have the Griffin Legion preparing for another charge. This would be a very opportune charge for them, actually. Just run them into the freaking Marauders here. And now we have the elite of the Blood God coming out. It's going to be double Wrathmongers. Okay, so we got one Wrathmonger right here, and then we do have another Wrathmonger over here as well. These things are unholy. Very, very hard to kill. Shooting them is one of your best bets for sure. Fighting them in melee is tough, so Streltsy are going to want to zero in on those guys. But as it currently stands, the Blood God is holding on to 2 objectives, and Skulltaker is able to survive the Snow Leopard, who is going to be disappearing here in 16 seconds. Nice downhill charge, and the Patriarch getting in there, providing a little bit of support while the Streltsy pull back, going to be folding up those Marauders. And here comes the Wrath of the Mongers. On the backside, Kossar is getting attacked by Fleshhounds as well, but they'll be pretty resilient here. They are a spear unit, which is really, really nice for these guys. So they will be able to fight back against the Hounds, the bigger Hounds, the Fleshhounds. The Doggies, the small Chaos Warhounds, they will not be so good against. Dervishes also being called in, but yeah, these Wrathmongers need to be shot to pieces. Basically, right now, you need to get these freaking guns and these bows and start shooting those Wrathmongers. Otherwise, they're going to just take that objective from you, and you're going to have a really, really bad time. Currently on the field, we have 2 Wrathmongers, I believe. 1, 2, and I do not see a third one. There's no restrictions. I don't think tournaments restrict Wrathmongers anymore. There was a lot of, satanic panic about those guys when they first came out, but, I mean, they're really strong, but they're not unbeatable, And Khorne should have really scary shit in melee anyways. They literally don't even have magic, so. All right. War Sleds can also kill Wrathmongers. If you get, light War Sleds, heavy War Sleds, and cycle charge them, you can kill them pretty well. Kislev has a lot of options to kill Wrathmongers, actually. But the Watchmen of the Night are super cool. These guys, do they do magic damage? They do not. They do frostbite, but they hit really hard in general. 53 weapon strength. And this is a good tech, using the Things in the Woods. Things in the Woods are a anti-infantry unit with good armor-piercing values. Now, a Wrathmonger will beat them head-to-head, but you could see that the Stingers has been able to figure out he needs to shoot them. So he's shooting them in the back with archers, and the Streltsy are also shooting them. And look how quickly these Wrathmongers are getting killed, and the other Streltsy here are going to be ripping some point-blank shots, looking really, really cool. So, dude, there's nothing like a cool powder formation, just blasting the heretics as they kind of face a lapse in micro. But, oh, here comes the Wrathmongers. That's such a cool-looking shot. Look at him getting in there. And, yeah, the Streltsy are going to get bashed pretty good by the Wrathmongers. And the Things in the Woods, though, will come out of the woods. And no longer are they the Things of the Woods. They're now the Things of the open field. And they're going to be able to beat those Wrathmongers. So the combined arms of Kislev doing some heavy lifting. In the meantime, Kislev is going to be securing objective number 1 here, so that is taken. Ice Guard with swords, getting good value, shooting into demonic units, and I would imagine that they're probably pretty good on value, about 900 value so far, with a little bit of ammunition to provide, and you can also use them as anti-infantry fighters when they do run out, which is very, very cool. And on the other side, the Watchmen of the Night, and a little bit of cycle charging going down in Wrathmongers. They lose a couple hundred HP, but don't care too much. These are just light cavalry, so you're going to want to cycle charge them. Watchmen in the Night will put up a fight, but they'll definitely lose it. Here in the middle, Streltsy do have the high ground, and the other unit of Wrathmongers here is... Oh, so he did summon out a third Wrathmonger. Okay, so he does have 3. But Streltsy should be able to fold these ones up, so the shooting of Kislev is able to do some really, really good value against them. And the Things in the Woods cycle charging is also doing great, and yeah, the Ice Guard putting a lot of work into those guys as well. So you do see them getting folded up, and they are down to 3,000 HP, and I would wager the Wrathmongers, I think one of them will pay for themselves, but the other ones maybe not. On the outside, the Watchmen of the Night going to be fighting a losing battle, fighting one of the best infantry units in the whole game, as well as a Pestigore unit, or a Khorne Gore. It's going to be very tough. And now the Khorne player, knowing that the shooting is doing a lot of work, is going to be using his Lord on the motorcycle to run them down. He also manages to get some Exalted Bloodletters on top of the shooting of Kislev. And how is Kislev going to deal with this? Are they going to keep kiting back? More shooting on the way out, but in the form of Armored Kossar. Streltsy trying to put some work in there. A little bit of a lapse of micro here. We do see the basic Kossars blocking the Streltsy shooting, which is going to give a little bit more agency to the Wrathmongers here. On the other side, Things of the Woods and Watchmen of the Night do get a full surround on the Wrathmongers. So they are surrounded, and it's kind of like the scene of the Watchmen when Rorschach is in prison. He's like, "You're trapped in here with me." Very similar to that, but maybe they'll win it. I don't know. That's going to be a hard fight. The Wrathmongers are very, very raid boss in melee, so that is tough indeed. Looking at value trading, it's very even. It's about 600 value difference, and Kislev does have a little bit of healing. We do see the Khorne Marauders here being taken out by the Ice Guard, so Ice Guard are so freaking cool. I can't wait for Kislev to get a tabletop army. That will just fire me up. I am so excited. My wife, of course, is Polish and feels a lot of kinship with the Kislev army, so yeah, that'll be very, very fun. Ice Guard here, 61 models, and the Motorcycle Man going to be moving into the Patriarch here. He is broken. Negative 22, and Motorcycle Man is coming. Here it is. Maximilianaire saying the panic over Wrathmongers was justified. Yeah, especially if you're a vampire count player like yourself, especially justified, for sure. When they first came out, they were a little bit cracked. I agree, and they're still borderline a problem, but I think it's okay now, honestly. In a system where you have picks and bans and you're not being forced into fighting them in an SFT with a bad matchup, I think it's not so bad. All right. Griffin Legion charging on in, getting a beautiful charge against those Marauders, folding them up. High ground objective owned by Kislev, and the points are definitely heavily contested. You can see every single objective is in flux right now. Griffin Legion, a beautiful counter against these infantry. Reckless Rage being used, or Relentless Rage, on these Marauders here is going to be making them unbreakable and not allowing them to die. And the Griffin Legion going to be retreating back while the Armored Cossars try and hold the ground here. And it looks like they're going to be getting charged by the Skull Takers, or the Wrathmongers, excuse me. Skulls, Wrath, this, that, violence, yeah, we get it. And another cool Last Samurai shot. These poor Cossars, even though they're basically like Arnold-level warriors, they're going to get bullied by the Wrathmongers. So a couple of the Wrathmongers do get shot down in the advance. Oh, but look at the cav charge coming in the back to hammer them in the flank. Super epic. But this fight is going to be a losing fight for Kislev here unless they get some reinforcements, because on the other side we do see the Bloodletters of Khorne coming in. But the Hawks of Miska are going to be summoned by the Sorceress of Kislev, the Ice Witch. So that is going to be summoning the Ice Bird Spirits of Kislev. And the Griffin Legion with a big charge in the back. Dude, Kislev cav charges are so freaking badass. So they get in there and they're going to be salvaging their brothers from a very, very bad fight. And with that AoE damage, the Bloodletter is probably going to get folded up. Yeah, you can see they're taking a hell of a lot of damage. Wrathmongers are actually dying right here. Khorne does take Objective 1. Objective 2 belongs to Kislev. And on the outside, Kislev is managing to hold on to this point, but just barely. Because Pestigors are here, and it looks like there are going to be some Fleshhounds on the way in. So Kislev is in danger of losing this point here. But as it currently stands, Kislev is up on points, but this is a very, very razor-close match. Khorne is starting to get a massively value trade. They're just getting a lot of value across the battlefield. And I think that Kislev is going to have to get to a situation where they can win on just one objective, and that's basically going to be what the Rock is cooking. Although, unfortunately for him, the Khorne Gors on the outside are able to get the objective and force off the Dervishes. And now Kislev is looking like they're getting folded on most fronts. Streltsy still going hard. And I think one of the big problems is the freaking Skull Taker is so brutal. Like, there's nothing in the Kislev army that can really fight him. Aside from shooting him with Streltsy, there's no, no Snow Leopards, there's no Frostworms. I think you do need a little bit of Monsters presence from Kislev here, like Frostworms, or maybe like a Incarnate Elemental of the Woods, or of nature, whatever the hell it's called. Big scary monsters, I think, would be very useful for keeping him in check, because he's just going balls deep and basically doing whatever damage he can, right? And it does look like HitmanHippo is going to be bringing home another W for the Rat Clan here. Unless Kislev can do some objective shenanigans. Oh man, okay. Hold on. I thought he lost this objective. Oh, that's big. That is really big. Stingers managed to hold on to the objective like an absolute gremlin. That is huge. So that actually keeps his points going upwards. Okay, that's really, really big, ladies and gentlemen. And now are we going to be seeing a thematic Kislev comeback where they fight to the last man and just win on the points? And maybe going to be able to steal the high ground objective. Oh my god, this is so impressive. This is like high level play, like holding on to objectives, because he's Benny Hilling. He has capture weight with the Dervishes, so he's running circles around the Khorne Gors, which are not able to get him, which is a thing of beauty. And that objective still belongs to Kislev for now. And now Kislev is going to ninja the high ground objective. And guys, we're approaching 1,400 points here. Are we going to see another cav unit coming out? I don't know. Dervishes do run to intercept the Marauder Horsemen here, but I think that at the end of the day, oh man, yeah, he could win on just one, I think, but is he going to be able to hold one? I mean, this is very, very intense. Yeah, and he wins on one objective because of that, correct. So Dervishes versus Marauder Horsemen. These Marauder Horsemen of Stingers going to be retreating away. The dreaded Zoomer Micro is on full hold here as the Kossovite Dervishes now going to be moving here, getting the capture weight advantage. Definitely need to move these guys back and get that capture weight back on that point if you can. In the meantime, it does look like Khorne finally gets the capture weight advantage here, but you need to keep the dervishes on the point. Keep them on the point to delay the cap. He didn't do it. That was a small mistake there, but not... Oh my god, is he going to pull him off the objective? Is the Khorne player not paying attention? If these freaking Khorne Gors chase the Kossovite dervishes off the objective, then they're not going to have the capture weight there, and that would be absolutely hilarious. Okay, 1,400 points, and now Kislev just needs to hold for Urson. Stingers didn't hear no bell. The most thematic way to play Kislev is the no bell way. That is for sure. Their whole faction identity is like fighting in brutal attrition to the last. Oh, but they didn't flip the objective here. Oh, they have no objectives. Oh, they didn't flip it. The Khorne Gors and some of the Marauders arrived. The Sorceress needs to get on the objective as well. And are they going to get the capture weight back? I don't know. That's real sketchy. In the middle, we do have some armored Kossars coming up and some Kossars down here. And okay, he's starting to get the capture weight again, but man, those Khorne Gors are going to massacre these horsemen. They're halberd units, so the horsemen are going to get pushed off the point super, super hard. We will have to see if that's going to be the case. And yeah, Kislev, I think, has lost the game. They're not quite able to ninja that point. If they had been able to ninja this point, maybe some serious shenanigans, but that's going to be victory for the Blood God and for HitmanHippo. What a nice attempted comeback right there. That was a really good match. Really epic shooting moments. Seeing the Wrathmongers get mowed down by Streltsy was very, very flavorful. But overall, yeah, the Kislev army really needed like a Frostworm or something big to keep the freaking 4,000 value Skulltaker in check. Jeez Louise. 4,000 value on that man. Yeah, Skulltaker carried the hell out of that game. So, Wrathmongers, I mean, we had one Wrathmonger pay for itself. The other ones didn't come close. That's a good sign. It looks healthy to me. But not every matchup can shoot them, right? That's the problem. Some matchups, Wrathmongers are insane because you can't, shoot them. 1,600, 1,300 on the Streltsy. Ice Guard got 15. Very, very cool. A couple of Cav blunders in the early game I think were kind of rough for Stingers, but he managed to recover and almost win that game. So that was very, very good. All right, guys. With that, we are going to be seeing the Rat Clan and old HitmanHippo climbing up on the scoreboard. He is going to be 2-1 in this best of 9 series. And we are going to be evaluating the next map here in just a moment and taking a look. Okay, let me go to the right chat here. Great sportsmanship between these players. GG and words of encouragement after every game. Love to see it. Norskin Rise, a very, very awesome map. And this map was made, I think, by the Space Pope. So I saw Space Pope in chat earlier. I don't know if you're still here, but shout out to you for the glorious map, my friend. It is one that I really, really enjoy. And we're going to see. Okay, it looks like Stingers is going to be on Khorne this time. Yeah, we'll have to see. We will have to see. So thank you guys all for joining tonight. I hope you're all doing well. And it's obviously not a Khorne mirror match because HitmanHippo just played Khorne, so we can't play them again. Yeah. Yeah, Beastmen are very strong, but I just can't get into them. Like, I feel like when I see a Beastmen army on tabletop, it just looks so crappy compared to the other factions. They just look so haggard, Like, oh, man. I just can't get into Beastmen. I just can't. Flavor-wise. I mean, they're cool, but, like, Warriors of Chaos and the God factions are so much cooler. I like the Beastmen units that are marked for, like, different gods. Those ones are cool. Like, Zangors, Pestigors, Khorne Gors. But, like, undivided Beastmen just look so haggard. I think it's a lot of the fact that their models are just terrible. Like, the old Beastmen models are atrocious. Like, the old Minotaurs and Centaurs are just so awful looking. They're probably never going to get updated. Do you think the new Sword and Board Blood Knights will be big? So basically, the way you can analyze the Sword and Board Blood Knights is any matchup in which you want to, you would use Chaos Knights in, you would use the Sword and Board Blood Knights probably. I would need to see the stats and any abilities they have before I draw a conclusion, though. In lore, they are forgotten. In IRL, Games Workshop forgets them too, yeah. All right. So Wood Elves versus Khorne. It's a fun matchup. I would say maybe at the highest level, like the best Wood Elf players, maybe slightly favored against Khorne. Their freaking Swift Shiver Shards are so freaking brutal. Yeah, vanilla. Well, you know what? We actually had a poll in Discord earlier, so the poll, people voted, and we had 4 stream suggestions tonight with what people wanted to see, and Total War crushed it. Yeah, pretty good. The second Age of Empires was pretty close second place. Yeah. Not gonna lie, Anticity says, I don't think I could win an SFT without Beastmen without at least a few practice games. I don't know how to play them. Dude, Beastmen seem like they're right up your alley, though, Anticity. I can see you using a starting army of, like, 4 throwing axes and 4 regular Centaurs with, like, with like a flying lord or like a mobile lord and just being an unholy scourge, you know? Like I can see just the forbidden Anticity style shining so hard with Beastmen. It's probably good that you don't play them for the sake of all the other players in the community, because it would just be pure suffering. By the way, going to be scheduling. So on June 7th, we have the grand finals for our Warcraft 3 event, which is very exciting. And then after that, we're going to be having the Season 10 grand final scheduled sometime in the next couple weeks after that. And after that, we're going to have a faction war for domination, which is going to be very exciting. So that will be fun. Maybe it's because you can't take 6 horse skirmishers. That's true. Yeah, I hear you. 4 isn't enough. Hey, Marco, I'm doing really good. Thank you for the kind words. Taurox is meta? Definitely not. People use the Doom Bull instead of Taurox. Taurox is cooler, though. I mean, I would definitely use Taurox myself. Yeah, Orange Pest if you want to. Absolutely, dude. I got you, man. 100%. Orange Pest, are you gonna win the Warcraft 3 event? You feeling it, dude? You feeling warmed up? You gotta represent the Total War and Company of Heroes communities, man. It's got to be fun. Beastmen could be so cool. They're literally the idea of the things in the woods, but their models are old and crusty, and Games Workshop treats them terribly. These are all facts. You're locked in. You're rock hard. Let's freaking go. Yeah, I'm super excited. We're going to have Sir Nicholas. So if you guys haven't seen the Demi-Pug model, do I have a picture of it somewhere? Probably on the community section of my YouTube channel. Let me check. Hold on. We're going to go look real quick. Rolling, rolling, rolling. Keep them doggies rolling. The tournament is June 7th for Warcraft 3. Yeah. Tomorrow I'm gonna reach out to Grubby and see if if he's interested in casting it. I think it'd be really fun. You know, I think it's he would have a lot of good insight that I wouldn't be able to provide, and also put some nice showcase on these players who've been putting in a lot of effort. Potentially reaching out if he's not available, of course, I'll reach out to some other great Warcraft casters as well, and because we're gonna have multiple casters casting different parts of the brackets and things like that. So, well, you know, yeah, I do want to do a DAO 2 tournament, Pork Chops. I do actually. I think that would be very, very fun. All right, so let's do this, and all right, let's go to the community section real quick. Perfect. So going back, I'm looking for the Demi-Pug. So the Demi-Pug was made by the individual who's going to be making the prize for the event, and then Anna, my wife, who's an extremely talented miniature and just a painter in general. She is going to be painting it up, or I will, depending on her availability and everything. Damn, where's the Demi-Pug? Man, these are 3 years ago. Was the Demi-Pug 3 years old? I could have sworn. Okay, Demi-Pug. Yeah, I'm not sure off the top of my head. I'll find it for you guys later. 2v2 co-tourney, and Professor Pone calls Orange Pest as his ally. That sounds a little bit unfair. Oh shit, they were waiting for me. I'm an idiot. I was in another planet. Hey, Bid Zero, I appreciate that, man. You've been watching since the beginning, dude. That's old school. Yeah, you're going back to the days of old here. We've been doing this a long time, man. We're pretty crusty. Do a DAO 3 tournament. So, you know what the funny thing is? I reinstalled DAO 3 today, Dawn of War 3, and I was like, okay, did people give this game a bad rap, or is Dawn of War 2 just actually that much better? And I played versus a couple games, and I was like, yeah, Dawn of War 2 is just exponentially better than DAO 3. DAO 3 has such a shitty, cartoony aesthetic, and the game just feels like clunky. I mean, there's some elements that are really, really good about it. Like, there's some fun, like, kind of flavor with some of the call-ins, but there's only 3 factions, too. You get Orc, Eldar, and Space Marines. Like, whereas, like, Elite Mod, you get Chaos Space Marines, you get Orcs, you get Eldar, you get Imperial Guard, you get Space Marines, you get freaking Tyranids. I made Nurgle, Nicholas, for sure. Like, I've won several tournaments with Nurgle. They're very viable. They're just a little tricky to play. Yeah. Okay, guys. I can't remember. Is this the Warcraft event? No, Fidel, this isn't. This is so basically we're hosting a Warcraft 3 event that is from individuals from our community and from our Discord to play. So they need to be newish players, and yeah, they train for a couple weeks and then they play an event, which is fun. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's take a look at the armies of HitmanHippo. He's going to be playing the Wood Elves here. Now, HitmanHippo is up 2-1, so he's approaching the 5 games needed to win. And here we do have Dryads, and Dryads with some Deepwood Scouts with the Swift Shiver Shards. Very good because they do magic damage, so excellent against demonic units. Now we do have Glade Riders, mass mobility. HitmanHippo really likes this style. When we saw him playing Dark Elves earlier, he had like mass mobility. And once again, he is back with it. Sisters of Twilight. Okay, I don't hate that. So the Sisters of Twilight, armor-piercing shots, can sit and just poke at Skulltaker all freaking day, which is very, very neat. On the backside, Glade Guard and War Dancers, and then we do also have a Spellsinger of Shadows. Yeah, so Trails, to answer your question about Nurgle's vulnerabilities, why they're hard to play is because they're very vulnerable against missile harass. Their anti-mobility is very weak. The Noxbringer is basically the only unit you have that can contest enemy skirmishers effectively. And they're incredibly slow and incredibly weak against harass and mobile play. So that's kind of the jam with Nurgle. All right, guys. All the objectives are open, and we are going to be seeing the Wood Elves rush up to get those points. And for the Khornate army here on the Norscan Rise, it is going to be a Cultist of Khorne on horseback and a Skulltaker. Obviously, we saw how strong he is on his motorcycle with all his healing and damage. Oh, Chaos Warriors as well as Marauders, and some regular Marauders and Chaos Warriors in the bushes as well. So these guys are so freaking cool looking. I remember when Warcraft 3, we got our first like hands-on to playing the game, or Warhammer 3, and like we got to see how cool those Khorne Warriors looked. I was like, oh god, they're so awesome. It is so freaking good. All right, so all 3 objectives should go to the Wood Elves, although a big blunder over here, actually. This is a huge one by HitmanHippo. He could have actually just grabbed this objective and had it, but he just moves off the objective there and totally blunders that. Not the end of the world, obviously, but still an unfortunate one, that is for sure. So Sisters of Twilight are going to be taking pot shots, and yeah, a good assassin of Skulltaker, potentially. I mean, their heat-seeking arrows of doom are no joke as the 2 sisters continue dropping their firepower here on the big beastie. So what are Wood Elves going to do? Are they going to play the high ground? It looks like it. So it does look like Wood Elves are going to come up. Why? They're being really conservative here. The Wood Elves did grab the middle objective. They could have had an extra like 20 or 30 points, if not more, from having that objective right there. But alas, they do relinquish that, and it is going to be going to the Blood God. So out of the gates, we might see Khorne getting all 3 objectives. But, you know, in the tournament finals we saw the other day, we did see Khorne get absolutely crushed by a Dark Elf army, where the Dark Elves just value traded them for like 4 or 5 minutes and then came in and finished them off afterwards, which is totally what you could do. All right, so Melkoth's activated. Man, Skulltaker's getting whooped on a little bit, guys. Stinger's not having a good time here, as he does get a lot of shots from the Deepwood Scouts, which of course will surpass his physical resist. But the Cultist and the Big Man going to be getting their motorcycles in, and some of the Elvish archers are going to be fleeing away, so they are running. And Elves do have more firepower, more Starfire shafts downtown. But yeah, I'm really liking the Sisters of Twilight. Just as like an anti-tech to the Skulltaker here, I think this is quite good. But Khorne is going to be hunkering down on the objectives here. I think a big thing would be hiding Skulltaker in the trees. Basically, just pull him back in the bushes, hide for as long as possible, hold the 2 objectives, make the Wood Elves come down and get you, you know? So high ground is owned by Khorne, but the Wood Elves are going to be advancing all their cav up. So it's 4, 8, 12, 16 capture weight plus 5 is going to be 21 plus another 5 there is going to be 26 capture weight on that objective. And looking at the forces of Stingers, he's got 5 and 8 capture weight there. But he actually runs off a lot of the units there. We are going to be seeing a Melkoth's, and the War Dancers pulling back while the Dryads are going to be countercharging. And also a little bit of side fire coming in from the Deepwood Scouts. But the Cultist is going to be charging over, trying to dispatch this unit as he shield bashes and crushes some of those bad boys. And Skulltaker has now become a Wood Elf, as he has taken up refuge in his new home, which is going to be the bushes, most likely for the rest of the map here. Stinger's chasing with the Furies as HitmanHippo continues value trading up on the high ground, using his Glade Riders to cycle charge into the infantry where he can. And the Forsaken, of course, normally would beat Dryads pretty badly in combat because of the fire damage, but they're going to lose this bad because they're being shot by the archers in the back. And the Christmas Cavalry are coming. Oh man, Wood Elf Cav are so cool. Yep, so on the backside, we do get Wild Riders coming out, and they are able to chase off the Fleshhounds of Khorne. But Furies with the ambush, I do like this. But Wild Riders are one of the fastest, most maneuverable cav in the game, and they do retreat for the most part and don't take too many casualties, while the War Dancers with the Azrai Spears are popping up with the Storm of Blades active. And they won't be super good against Furies, but they still have 51 melee attack, so they are going to be able to chop through a lot of these guys and get some work done. We will see. So Wood Elves holding on to this objective, and Khorne actually coming into the flank. So Khorne actually got some units and came around the side here, but the Dryads are actually able to hold back like several of those units, and oh, these are Chaos Warriors too. So Chaos Warriors will bash Dryads really, really bad in combat. Fury's taken down in the backfield. It looks like the Dryads and the Sisters are able to keep him offline. Skulltaker is back out of the bushes, playing a very, very dangerous game, ladies and gentlemen. But the Blood God is really relentless and is keeping the value close enough to not be that big of a problem. Fury's getting a really nice engagement here onto the Glade Riders, which is going to hurt them pretty badly. And the Cultist also does summon some Bloodletters right here, which are going to be excellent at cutting through all these units. So the Cultist is going to be fighting with his demonic entourage, as we do see Skulltaker getting worked on, 30 HP. And the Harley-Davidson Lord, the Sisters of Twilight, such a cool unit, by the way, are probably going to finish him off. So they're watching from their eagle. We need the cinematic shot of this karate chop here. Come on. Oh, the Skulltaker's motorcycle gets blown up and he gets launched into the ether. All right, so the Khorne army is now leaderless at the hands of the Wood Elves. The Stinger's army, does have the points advantage, and the Khorne forces are going to be doing a little sneaky here, as they are going to be pressing the high ground. Granted, I think this is a mistake here. Maybe like just playing the low ground objectives and trying to win down there, force the Wood Elves to overextend into you. I don't know. We'll have to see how it all works out, because now the Wood Elves are going to be calling in some reinforcements. So you do see the Dryads here, and the Dryads are going to be able to get up and grab that point. You could call in a quick Fleshhound to try and stop them maybe, but still not even the most cost-effective. Dryads do pretty good against demon units. Khorne needs to hold on to these points, and they do call out some Fleshhounds of Khorne to do exactly that. Now, value trading, HitmanHippo 5,000 against 4.2 for the forces of the Blood God. The Wood Elves do have the high ground, Anakin, and they are going to be sitting up here, and we do see the Glade Guard Starfire shafts. They are going to be getting them fat shafts and shooting downtown, which it's so cool when you see missile units shooting at units advancing up a hill. But yeah, they're going to retreat back knowing that the Chaos Warriors of Khorne are going to be able to hunt them down. So these big, bloodthirsty, silver-shielded monstrosities are after them. So yeah, you just want to run away from that. Now look at this. We have the Zoats. So Zoats are pretty okay against demon units. They actually have magic damage and anti-large. So against Fleshhounds and even against Chaos Warriors, they provide some nice armor piercing too. So very, very cool to see the Zoats in action. Wood Elves currently do have the objective, but Khorne is in the process of stealing it. And is Khorne going to be able to hold on to this low ground point? Getting a triple cap is certainly a viable strategy here, but Khorne really needs to get some infantry over here, because the great Stag Knights, dude. Christmas is coming early. All right, let's get it. Here they come. Dude, these Wood Elves have such cool aesthetic, man. Look how badass these things are. And those Fleshhounds are going to get freaking folded up by these big cavalry. As they move in, the Fleshhounds immediately starting to wither back to the warp, and that objective is going to be going to the Wood Elves. So Khorne really needs to get the high ground objective here to compensate for that. Khorne is up pretty heavily on points. 630 points against 272 right now, as we do see Khorne with the triple cap for now. But again, it is going to be flipping on the outside, and the Wood Elves might be able to use their mobility to ninja some of the objectives, but the Great Stag Knight's definitely going to be a problem, as we do see Objective 1 going to the Wood Elves, but Objective 3 is traded for it. So this one does go to Old Khorne and Stingers. So Stingers knows he's down in the series. Currently, it is a 2-1 advantage for HitmanHippo and Rat Clan. So Stingers is going to be clawing tooth and nail to get back in the series and equalize the series here. As somebody who's played a lot of tournaments and a lot of competitive gaming in my life, when you go down 3-1 in a series, it is a big morale debuff. It takes a special type of mental game to not be rattled when you're down in a series 3-1. That is for sure. Happens to most people. Outside, pretty safe for the Wood Elves. Nothing really contesting here. Objective number 2 is owned by Khorne, but maybe the Wood Elf mobility is going to get it done, because Great Stag Knights will beat Fleshhounds and they'll crush Chaos Warriors and Marauders. Very, very hard. Murdeer. Oh, I love that. Dude, that's like a friggin' Metalocalypse. Murdeer. Oh, that's so good. That's really, really good. So yeah, they're going to be moving in and chasing down the Fleshhounds there. High ground owned by Khorne, and they have it pretty well saturated with a couple Marauders and also some Chaos Warriors, so they should be safe there. But losing Skulltaker that hard is really, really tough. And that's one of the reasons why Valkia is probably more meta, I would say, in this matchup. She's harder to snipe, and she has the Demon Shield, and she can dodge the shots a lot easier and also chase the Sisters around. So that's, that's the thing. But yeah, Wood Elves do get this point, and it looks like they're on their way back to causing a lot of havoc, because here's the thing, guys. What does Khorne do when they start to lose objectives, right? They call in infantry to get the capture weight, but it seems like HitmanHippo is one step ahead, calling out the Wildwood Rangers, which of course are going to butcher most of the Khornate infantry. They'll lose to the elite Bloodletters, and maybe like dual weapon warriors of Khorne could beat them too, but we're not seeing any of those units out on the field, so I think it's going to be all good. Wildwood Rangers are up. Sisters of Twilight are still an eagle, monstrous fighter. Like, they're not bad in combat. They have 440 weapon strength, so you can use them to beat up a cultist 100%. High ground is owned by the Blood God, and is there a chance that... Yeah, I actually think that HitmanHippo can win on just the 2 objectives now. It is not triple cap territory. I don't know if HitmanHippo's done the quick math in his head, but overall, it does look like it's going to be a victory for the Wood Elves, unless Khorne, pulls out some wild trading somehow. Because, yeah, we get Wrathmongers being called in, but Wood Elves don't really care about Wrathmongers that much. They can just kind of pepper them with their archers and then charge them with their cavalry and really, really butter their bread for sure. Fleshhounds do get a little bit of an intercept, but the War Dancers with Azrai Spears are here. Wildwood Rangers should be able to finish off the Wrathmongers as well as the Chaos Warriors here, and Sisters of Twilight are lurking. And oh, look who's back, dude. And, you know, very lore-friendly for a demon to come back, right? Demons are like they make great villains in the 40k and the fantasy universes, because when you kill them, they can just come back and be a villain again, because they literally are immortal. They basically get banished to the warp, and then they have to like go through some shenanigans to re-enter real space, or you know, the reality, as it were, in Warhammer Fantasy. All right, guys. So high ground objective. Khorne is actually abandoning it for now, and that is going to be a signal to the Wood Elves that give me your goodies precious. Very veteran play by HitmanHippo, saving up enough resources to drop a lot of capture weight at once. So as soon as his opponent abandons an objective, he can use his fast Wood Elf army and get over there and grab it, which I think is a masterclass of play right there. Wildwood Rangers chewing through the Wrathmongers here, which are broken. So, you know, Wrathmongers not having the best of times. Currently, they are at 400 value, so they've basically killed one Dryad worth of units, and they cost, you know, well over 1,000 gold. So that's pretty hard for them. And now the Wildwood Rangers, one of the cooler looking units, getting in there, and they will bash Marauders. So Wildwood Rangers are meant to kill armor, but they still have really good anti-infantry. They'll take more damage. The Marauders will still punch back into them, but they should trade pretty well here. There's 92 of them, and a lot of damage is going to go down on those Marauders. On the high ground, we do get the 2 cav units, the Rangers, or the Glade Riders, excuse me, capturing this point. So objective number 3 is going to be flipping, and that is going to be a triple cap, which is probably just going to spell doom. You know, dealing with Skulltaker is going to be very difficult now that you're out of ammunition. But with the Wood Elves getting a triple cap and Khorne being so barren on the battlefield, I think it's going to be hard for them. Sisters of Twilight actually getting dirty here. And that's a good idea. Use the HP of the Sisters to sponge some damage from the Skulltaker, and then, you know, when they get low, just fly back up in the sky and keep them hidden for the rest of the game. Stag Knights here running over the Forsaken, and Wildwood Rangers beating down the Marauders over there, and outside point looking pretty safe. Yeah, Wood Elves have that. Khorne is not really pressuring that, but we do see Khorne starting to farm some decent value as Stingers does start to come back on value trading a little bit, and that is normal in this matchup. Because, you know, when the ammunition runs out of the Wood Elves, it can get a little bit messy, because then you're forced to fight Khorne in melee a little bit, so that can be a problem. Maybe Khorne will get this back. Oh, man, he went for the Sword of Khorne, but his opponent saw it. Khorne's going to be super sad. I mean, he does get a couple skulls there. Yeah, not worthless. It takes about 15% HP off that unit, but is Skulltaker going to be able to get this battle back? Because currently, as it stands, we do see HitmanHippo with the 3 triple cap here, starting to get those points and really, really milking it. The Blood God, what is their next column going to be? Sitting at 1,100 points here on the outside. The Wood Elf Cavalry just kind of parking there, making sure it is secret and safe. Melkoth's activated on the Chaos Furies here as Skulltaker moves in, and that's going to be really big because Skulltaker is going to free up the boys. Skulltaker is helping the Marauders, and he has an AoE buff too, so the AoE buff is able to actually buff the combat stats and leadership of nearby Khorne units, which is very powerful. So Wildwood Rangers getting folded there, a couple Dryads coming in to try and fight them. Current victory tickets per second. Wood Elves do own objective 3, but Khorne is starting to play for it. Could Khorne come back here, guys? Really, really good matches between these players tonight. Marauders of Khorne going to be heading for the objective, and we see interference being run. So the Sisters of Twilight on the Eagle. Decent combat stats for sure. 57 melee attacks, really not bad at all. But able to peck down 5 of the Marauders and going to be chasing them, trying to keep them from getting to the objective, while Dryads are going to be parking up there as well. Skulltaker able to fold up the middle, and that objective does belong to the Blood God. So now is the tricky part for Khorne. They have to decide how they're going to play the objectives, and that's one of the things that's very, very advanced in domination mode, is like decision making as it pertains to objectives, allocation of resources. You know, those are very, very important variables for sure. So here's Skulltaker. Skulltaker probably could finish off the Spellsinger too. Middle objective is owned by Khorne, but the Wood Elves do have some Dryads there, so some of the Forsaken are going to have to stay. Probably playing the high ground first, although, I don't know, where are the Wood Elves a little bit more consolidated? They have 2 Dryads out there. Yeah, man, HitmanHippo is really, really entrenched on the points. Like, he's got a Dryad and 2 light cavalry and Sisters here, and on the outside up here as well, we have 2 full health Dryads, several skirmish cavalry units. It's going to be tough. I don't know if Khorne's going to have the agency to get all across the battlefield and get all these objectives, you know? Skulltaker's trying, and now for the first time in the game, we are going to be seeing the Wood Elves catching Khorne here in just a minute on points. Khorne going to be approaching 1,100 points as the remnants of the Wrathmonger are still fighting, which is very, very fun. Fleshhounds and Marauders of Khorne going to be heading to the high ground point. Fury's coming around the backside, and Skulltaker is going to be needed somewhere. Probably you leave what I think I would do in this situation. I would probably leave the 2 infantry units here and take Skulltaker to the high ground and try and wrestle that point. You need to do it pretty damn quick because you're about to be caught by your opponent, but if Khorne can secure a double cap, they could still win this game. Because the points are really close, actually, and whoever has, like, you know, 2 objectives here for the next, like, 2 minutes or so is going to win this game, basically. Bloodhound's trying to fight. We do see a lot of the Coordinate units getting folded. Marauders also lose to Dryads, which is not good for them. And the Elven Archers are going to be on the backfield providing fire support. So now that the Swift Shiver Shards are here, a lot of the demonic units are going to get folded, especially the Furies if they get focus fired. And we do see Skulltaker in the middle being held to this objective, so he's having to stay here to keep his infantry online. But I think this is a mistake. Stinger should probably go up over the top. Maybe keep the Cultists here if you want to. Skulltaker is very needed on this objective. Oh, what the hell is this? Chaos Spawn? Oh my god, that is a unit you don't see often. I mean, they're extremely killy against light armor, but archers hard counter them. So if the Elven Archers can see them and zero in on them, it's going to be able to kill them very, very quickly. Yeah, that's fun. I mean, Spawn will absolutely annihilate the Wood Elf infantry, and they'll be very good against the Sisters too. So I don't hate that idea, considering there's not that many archers left on the battlefield. You definitely need to get the Furies on top of the Deepwood Scouts. Deepwood Scouts will kill Spawn in like a matter of seconds. It's going to be really bad for them. I guess Skulltaker maybe is still needed down here, and it does look like the Wood Elves are coming in to steal this objective with a lot of Dryads. Because Khorne is really going full Unga-Bunga for this high ground here. Wood Elves do have the capture weight still, but look at the Spawn. I mean, they're ripping shit up. They do fire damage, so they annihilate Dryads super quickly. They've done some okay damage against the Sisters, and the Wood Elf army is being pushed off the objective slowly. A couple Fleshhounds nibbling over here as the Spawn have gotten the job done. But Khorne is also going to be struggling to hold on to this objective. Skulltaker being a raid boss down here, but the 2 Dryads, that's going to be 10 capture weight. So if we do the quick math here, we have 5, we have 10 capture weight. This is probably going to, normally it's 4, but down to 3 probably because of their health. That's going to be 13 capture weight against like 2, 6, and 9. So the Wood Elf should have the capture weight advantage here on this point. And yeah, the Spawn's still going, man. They laughed at the Chaos Spawn, and maybe for the right reasons, because now we do have the Deepwood Scouts able to zero in on them. But yeah, the Spawn were able to kill a lot of the Wood Elf units off that point. And it is flipping to Khorne ever so slowly. But there's no chance that Khorne's going to be able to hold on in the middle, probably, right? With the 2 Dryads there. The capture weight is getting a little bit flimsy, as we do see Skulltaker able to chew through some units, but I think it's too much. HitmanHippo's got a big points lead now, and he's probably going to be able to win on just one objective very, very soon. So it's basically just going to be HitmanHippo closing out the game with his dreaded Wood Elf play and getting her done. All right, guys. How we're looking? Deepwood Scouts mowing down the Spawn. How much value did the Spawn get? They almost paid for themselves. If the archers weren't over here, if they were somewhere else, like these Spawn actually could have gotten a lot of value, I think, which is pretty good. Yep, Spawn of Khorne getting it, and that's going to be a victory for the Wood Elves, guys. GG, well played. Another victory for the Hippo. So HitmanHippo did lose the first match in the series, but has now come back like a wrecking ball, showing the Sisters of Twilight are an excellent counter against the Skulltaker. Skulltaker got absolutely destroyed by the Sisters in the beginning, which basically took away all of Khorne's momentum. So, GG, well to the played. Yeah, don't always trust the value meter. There's a lot of things that don't make sense. Like Demonic Disintegration isn't included in that. Some spells and abilities aren't. It's really stupid. So, take it with a massive grain of salt is essentially what I'm trying to say. All right, guys, that's going to be 3-1 to the Hippo. Now, remember, this is a best-of-9 series, so there's a lot of room for comebacks. In the last series, we actually had, I believe, own goal went up 3-1 against Charix, and then Charix, did he come back and get you from that, Tim? I can't remember. Yeah, you like the Wood Elf play? Well, I'm glad you enjoy it, my friend. Now, we're here to create the good times for everybody. So next map is going to be Celestial Lake, a very good Chaos map. Chaos is very, very good on this map, in my opinion. Celestial Lake, all right, is going to be the map, and there we have it. You're fawning. Oh, that's so good at the Wood Elf play. Yeah, you guys have been going pretty bananas with the old puns here tonight. It's been out of control. Ah, got it. Yeah. You want to see a 4-4? I forget. I think he was up 3-1, then you got back. Okay, so you were the one who reversed him. Okay. Right on. Great series. Yeah, it was a really good series. Well, Tim, this is your opportunity to come and, give the business in the upcoming Season 10 championship. You could claim the spot as the #1 player, but you're going to have to take it from the ruthless hands of the Kraken King Anticity, who is looking really strong these days. Man, oh man. All right, High Elves versus Norska. Very fun. Stingers is a High Elf player. He's probably one of the better High Elf players out there. And I don't know about HitmanHippo's experience with Norska, but I assume he's very good with them. So we got High Elves versus Norska. And for all of you Elvish players, you guys are really getting spoiled tonight. We've had Dark Elves, we've had High Elves now, and we've had Wood Elves. Is it a new faction for each round? Yes, it is. So Nathan, how it works for this best of 9 show match is the players drafted 9 different matchups to play. And then we just play them in order as we go through. So pretty straightforward. But they used a pick and ban system, which you can see on TotalTavern.com. It's called the 3x3 system. So if you go to TotalTavern.com, you'll see a section on the top where you can look at the pick and ban system that was used. Who is the loudest legendary lord in the game? I actually don't know. I mean, Dryka used to be. On the campaign map, she used to just be yelling nonstop. Yeah, a lot of Elvish play, though, for sure, which makes sense. Elves are pretty good. At least, what elves are the strongest? Probably followed by, I don't know, high elves or dark elves? I don't really know, honestly, between them. Oh, that's good stuff right there. That's some good H2O. That's some good H2O. I feel like Scarbrand has got to have some massive lung capacity. Oh, for sure, yeah. Who would probably have the biggest lung capacity? It would have to be one of the big Nurgle demons. Although the Nurgle demon's lungs probably don't work very well because they're all like diseased and stuff. So, yeah. Oh, birds are really loud though, actually. Like, I bet you if freaking any of the Tzeentch Greater demons like shrieked as loud as possible, they would probably be able to drown out most things. Like a shrill bird shriek coming from a Tzeentch Greater demon would be pretty savage. Yeah. Yeah, Kolek probably can let out a huge roar too. Yeah, he's literally a dragon and an ogre. I mean, come on. So High Elves versus Norska. A fun one. Probably going to see some monstrous play. Stingers has been really loving the Phoenixes. Seeing Stingers play in past couple SFTs, we've been seeing a ton of Phoenix play. Do you take breaks for a while? I think players can get very tired from playing a lot of games nonstop. Yeah, so between matches, there's usually like 5 to 10 minutes. This isn't... If not more. Sometimes there's 15 minutes in between games. Because in Total War, a lot of the game comes down to building your army before the battle. And then, you play the battle, which is like 10, 15 minutes. And so it's not like a Warcraft 3 best of 9 where you have like a bunch of 20, 30-minute games, like just nonstop, and there's no breaks in between usually. It's a little bit different. If possible, I'd love to see a macro keyring tip video for new... Okay, sounds good, yeah. I'm going to be doing some more beginner videos. We just did the beginner recommended factions video, and we'll do one for... we'll do like a general one, and then I'll maybe start doing more advanced stuff too. Yeah. Gotrek yelled at some monster. Yeah, Gotrek has a lot of plot armor for sure. Oh, yeah, the Cathay dragons might be loud. Yeah, like the Storm Dragon. Oh, my God. Yeah, it's literally like channeling like thunder and lightning and shit. Yeah, come on. Cetra's got some serious style. Yeah, Cetra gets a lot of style points. What is the word to use? Drip? Is that like a... I don't think that comes from millennials, the drip thing, right? That's like... Isn't that Gen Z? Like, kind of like hip-hop Gen Z thing? Am I wrong? I don't remember hearing that when I was in like high school and college. I could be wrong. You're just starting a Seraphim army in tabletop, so I don't know anything about the Lizardmen. Are you talking about for Age of Sigmar? You think Riz is the new word? Yeah, I've heard. So my neighbor is one of my good friends, and he has kids who are like 10, 11, and yeah, the Riz is that's the stuff they say. Yeah, for sure. They do it. All right, guys, let's freaking get it. Oh, double dragon and Throg. That's very fun. Cool builds all around. In this tournament, only 2 people play until one of them reaches 9 wins. No. How it works, Gora, is they basically play a best of 9, which means the first person to reach 5 wins is going to be the winner. Yeah. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's break it down. Taking a look at the build of Stingers. It's going to be a stalwart front line of spearmen, backed up by some archers. Oh, not basic archers. We actually have the Sisters of Avalorn, and they're going to be teamed up with the Talons of Torquelada. Now, this is a cool combo because when the Talons of Torquelada shoot you, they make you weak to fire. And then the Sisters of Avalorn just so happen to do fire damage, which means they're going to be getting a big damage buff, which is awesome. And that also synergizes with an Arcane Phoenix who does fire damage and Tyrion who does fire damage. So a lot of the Elven units doing fire damage, very, very clutch here. And we do have an Archmage of Fire with Burning Head, which is going to be triggering the lore passive, which is the Kindle Flame, for even more fire weakness. You gotta love it. Best of 17, I don't know, man. If my hands get fixed, I would be down to do that. But yeah, being on the computer that long would be brutal. All right, guys, we got a Chaos Frost Dragon as well as the Cold Voider. So the dreaded double dragon build coming out for HitmanHippo. And the rest of his army is going to be Marauders. Marauders and Marauder Champions backed up by the Troll King. Now, Throg is very good at fighting monsters, but is very weak against fire damage and against archers, so he's going to have to watch out. These dragons are going to need to shut down those archers by using their breath attacks and just diving them and doing all that kind of goodness. So, yeah, ladies and gentlemen, that is going to be it. Let us know your predictions, and we will see how this goes. Yeah, Throg or Wulfric are both viable in this matchup. I think Wulfric's probably a little bit more meta. It's hard to say. The first salvo comes out, by the way, and we do see the dragon getting hit and taking a bit of damage. And yeah, frost dragons are also weak to fire. Dude, like, the whole Norscan army is straight up just weak to fire damage. All right, this is going to be interesting. I mean, obviously not the infantry, but on the backside, we do get Marauder Champions being called in. The dragon's going to be juking in the tree line. Throg and his Marauder infantry are going to be moving up. And the initial infantry advantage will be favored for Norsca. I mean, Marauder Champions are really tough to remove. Throg versus Turin is an interesting one. Tyrion's fire damage and self-healing is pretty brutal. And where are those Frost Dragons going to go? All right, Throg is up in the point. Does he have his Vomit ability? He does not, but he has Wintertooth Crown. And looks like the Phoenix is going to be coming for him, yeah. Dragon's going after Tyrion and the Phoenix going after Throg. So I'm really surprised to see an Alpha Strike on Tyrion from HitmanHippo. That feels like a bit of a dangerous gambit, I do dare say. Tyrion's just going to run away, and Throg is going to take a little bit more damage. But now the Dragons are probably going to turn around and go after the Arcane Phoenix. But the firepower from the Elves, okay, the blessed opportunity is here. It's been too long. So we got one archer back here, and then we have one archer here, which is gathering its forces and getting a nice shot right into that fight right there. Absolutely beautiful stuff. But the Phoenix does get bullied a little bit. Burning Head going to be coming down from the Elven Mage. And that will be cooking some of the Marauders depending on which way it goes. And it looks like it's mostly a miss. Kind of unfortunate there. But look at this freaking Arcane Phoenix getting worked on by the freaking Cold Voider and the Frost Dragons. The chilling Frostbite effect slowing down the Phoenix to the point where it's at 38 speed and it can't really get away. So I'm loving the double Frost Dragon so far. It's definitely doing some heavy lifting. Now Tyrion a little bit trapped up in Marauder Champions. Not a good fight for him. And man, this Arcane Phoenix is already getting crumped by HitmanHippo's Dragons. My goodness. That is really, really unfortunate here. So we do see the Phoenix waddling away. And that is a catastrophic loss. It's at 1850. Oh, but it gets its Rebirth ability. Will the Phoenix stabilize? It does get a big free heal from the Phoenix Rebirth, but I still think it's going to get chased off. And fighting in the trees is beautiful because the archers, a lot of their shots are not actually hitting home and not connecting. Tyrion needs to come over here and help. I mean, Homie needs to go hunt down Throg or help. Losing that Arcane Phoenix right out of the gates, very, very brutal stuff. Now, a couple Spearmen going to be advancing on the home objective, which I don't understand. Norsca would win that fight. Definitely bring them over here, which it looks like he's going to be doing now. So the Phoenix is going to be saying Dovid Zenya and good night, sweet prince. Here on the backside, a couple Norscan Ice Wolves trying to shut down the shooting, but going to be intercepted by Reavers and some light cavalry, so the shooting's still going to be online. A better Burning Head here. Marauder Champions don't care about Burning Head that much, but it still does damage. And it is able to go through and cook some of the Elven archers as well, but more or less hits the entire Norscan battle line and gets some really, really nice value. Now, despite the Arcane Phoenix being gone, Stingers is getting a lot of value. Those archers are shooting happily. The Burning Head comes in and cooks his own units over there, which has got to feel pretty bad. Marauder Champions with great weapons here are going to be broken. And now we got Tyrion versus the Troll King. All right. Value is favoring the High Elves despite losing the Arcane Phoenix. Both of the Frost Dragons did take a lot of damage from the archers during that engagement. And now Throg is going to be pincushioned if he's not careful. And oh yeah, he immediately is like, oh, nope, I don't want any of that. He's going to be turning around and running as the Prince of Ulthuan, or the King, or whatever the hell he is, continues trading okay. But he does get whooped on a little bit. Final Transmutation coming down from the Metalcaster. That's going to be spreading. And Tyrion potentially going to be getting brought close to death here at 1500 HP. Archer fire shooting into the Cold Voider here. And will the Elven Archers get it done? Cold Voider at 3 freaking leadership, 12 leadership. Barely stabilizing. Oh, Tyrion got his healing ability. So it did proc the Heart of Avalorn. So Tyrion just got healed up to like half health for free, which is so freaking good. Dude, Elven Archery getting it done. One Chaos Dragon is down. The other Chaos Dragon lurking in the wings. So far, Stingers is actually not in a bad position. Calling out Rangers is a really good call considering the Marauder Swarms are here and Rangers counter them. But the Archers being online and just cackling is very, very good. Like Throg is having to be very, very careful. But what's going to happen when the ammunition runs out? In the meantime, another Burning Head going to be activated. Oh, getting absolutely cooked. Those guys got roasted on down. And we see the Marauder Spearmen getting taken down to about 20%. And the old Marauder Champions here, eating a little bit of Archer fire. Sisters of Avalorn definitely don't want to be in combat with Champions, but it's going to be hard to peel them. On the other side, Chaos Dragon still sitting at 3,500 HP. Elves are getting their front lines folded up by the Marauder Champions. And the back objective is stabilized by the High Elves. So the High Elves have a lot of time to work with here to get up on the points and everything. Throg, of course, is healing during all this as well. And the Sisters of Avalorn going to be retreating away from the champions, which is smart. Value on Sisters so far, 1,700, really good. Talons of Torquelada going to be at 1,000 value, which is also very cost effective. And the Lothern Seaguard on the other side going to be shooting into the Advancing Chaos Frost Dragon, which is down to 3,200 HP. So big thing for the High Elves is don't lose your home objective here. Like slow trade, value, take down the big Norscan assets, and then just push up with those archers in the game. Yeah, the healing procs are very good. Tyrion is definitely enjoying that. Searing Doom from the Metalcaster of the Shaman Sorcerer. It looks like it's mostly going to be dodged. So the Heralds of the Wind. They have 100 speed. They're really, really quick. They are able to get away. And Dragon Prince is now called out. Now, Fireborn would be an absolute just backbreaker for Norska, I think. They would be able to dominate the dragons, the trolls that were called out. Although Famir Warriors, Famir are making a bit of a comeback. I've been seeing a lot of good Norscan players using the Famir Warriors to very good effect because they are more stalwart than the trolls. They have high armor, they have missile resistance, anti-large, armor piercing. Their staying power is really quite good. Whereas trolls tend to get bullied by monsters, these guys do not. Famir are going to be able to hang. Some Marauder Champions and some Doggies nibbling on the Talons of Torquelada. These Marauder Champions pretty close to breaking, 2,400 HP, as the Silver Helms do move out there. Frost Dragon sitting at 2,600 HP, and the Sisters are now shooting into the Famir Warriors in the woods, who don't care too much about it with all their missile resist. Remember, time is not on the side of the High Elves. The High Elves are going to need to get some pressure and some advancing here soon. And for Norska, it's basically just like stuff them back. You know, keep that pressure back. Because despite the value favoring Norska, it's not actually accurate. Tyrion got a ton of healing, and that probably compensates for that small difference that you're seeing in the value right there, in tandem with various things not being tracked. So on the back, the champions are finally broken. Spearmen, Rangers, and the Sisters of Avalorn can get back online now. And Tyrion is going in hog wild here, man. Stinger's trying to kill the Metal Sorcerer with Tyrion. But yeah, Tyrion's now being attacked by the dragon as well as Throg, the Troll King. He's going to want to piece the hell out of this situation. This is all bad for Tyrion. So he's trying to get away. Archer's providing a little bit of Overwatch fire. Tyrion does have his healing, so I believe it can proc one again until he reaches his healing cap. And it does look like he's going to be able to escape, but very dodgy. But he does, bait the dragon into the archer fire, and the dragon is going to get punished. If this was an open field map, man, these archers would be so much more brutal. This map is really nerfing the elves. And Tyrion gets his heal. Oh, is he going to bait him? Throg is in danger too. Dragon sitting at 900 HP. Tyrion could turn around and fight now if he wants to. Granted, getting away from Throg probably should be a priority. As on the backside, Heralds of the Wind going to be coming in to help. Sisters of Avalorn ripping shots into the Troll King. Fire damage shots. Oh man, will Tyrion hold? He's at -4 leadership. It looks like he is going to break, so Tyrion breaks, and so does Throg. But I think Throg is actually going to be dying here. He's going to get taken down by the Sisters unless they're out of ammunition. They have a little bit of a volley left. You got to finish Throg off. You got to finish him. He needs to go down. That's like how you win this game. Man, I really would like to see Stingers get that kill there. And it looks like Tyrion's going to rally, so Tyrion can actually come back and help finish off Throg if he wants to. And the Chaos Dragon's going to be pushed off the battlefield as well. Because I think in order to beat Norska here, you need to get that leadership penalty. You need to get Throg down. And the fact that he's being allowed to live, Tyrion needs to be microed by Stingers. He needs to use the dreaded Zoomer micro and go after Throg here, On the other side, Sisters of Avalorn moving up, using their fire damage against these Skin Wolves. The Condom Wolves is going to be very, very strong here. And Throg is currently sitting... Oh my god, is he going to let Throg rally? No! No! Where's the killer instinct? You need to kill him! Oh, now he's getting healed to like 2,000 HP. Dude, and immediately HitmanHippo is watching and gets it back. That is so incredibly bad for Stingers. Stingers was in a position to win the game. If Stingers kills Throg, he's going to have a much easier time pushing Norska off. And now he realizes, he's like, oh shit, I let Throg come back. And he starts to chase him with the Heralds of the Wind, which are going to probably struggle. Maybe Tyrion's going to be able to come in and finish him off. We'll have to see. So down here, we do see the Rangers grinding through Iceform Marauders. There is going to be some magic being activated by, what is that, Final Transmutation? Yeah, it looks like it. Going to be hitting some Silver Helms and some Dragon Princes and whatnot. And is Throg going to break? Okay, he uses the Wintertooth Crown. Oh, he's going for the fight with Tyrion. He's charging him, and Tyrion's like, oh, the brave Sir Tyrion running from the Troll King. I'd run from that shit too, honestly. And yeah, he is fleeing away from Throg. 599 HP, dude. If Throg reverses this... While the crown is active, okay, the crown is gone and Throg is broken. Okay, he might be able to get the kill now. You got Stingers, summon your killer instinct, brother. Finish the job. You really need to. Now for HitmanHippo, he's looking pretty grindy on the points. Iceform Marauders, Skin Wolves. It's going to be hard to get him off. That is for damn sure. A couple Spearmen fighting over here because the problem is the value trading is very even. But if Throg dies, then yeah, okay, the Troll King is down. So the Troll King has fallen. He is face down in the dirt. He had a good run, honestly. He was a great champ this game. So now Tyrion needs to lead his people to victory and get these objectives relatively quickly. He doesn't have a whole lot of time, so Tyrion's very, very low. Rangers grinding here with Icehorn Marauder, Spearman, and Lothern Seaguard trying their best as well. Norska, you got to get objective 3 first. You got to be focused. If you split push all the objectives, it's going to make it a little bit easier for Norska to defend. You need to alpha strike, get the points, and then, you know, from there, your opponent's not going to be bleeding you as hard on the objectives because he's losing 2 points per second right now, basically, or his opponent's getting 2 points per second, excuse me. All right, Spearman on the way. And Rangers do look like they're winning the fight eventually, and there are going to be some Silver Helms coming into the rear charge here. They have a charge order given on the Skin Wolves across the map. Definitely just fold up these Iceworm Marauders to get rid of the capture weight right there. As it currently stands, I believe HitmanHippo would win on just 1 objective, so the Elves are going to need to get all 3 here. They're going to need to get all 3. This is definitely a game that's winnable for either side. Maybe slight favor for High Elves right now, but any mistakes will cost them the game. HitmanHippo is a ruthless opponent as well. And Rangers going to be winning their fight versus the Marauders. We see Condom Wolves battling Dragon Princes and Silver Helms, which they're good against, but on the charge, Skin Wolves, especially unarmored ones, will still take a ton of damage against Shock Cavalry. So these guys are going to get folded here and currently are shaken and stirred. On the backside, objective very, very close to going to the Elves. And now the Elvish onslaught of the last objective is going to begin. I would not be surprised to see Throg get resummoned at some point. I think that could happen, but I think you just need capture weight at this point, right? Tyrion fighting too. He's at 500 HP, still going. He didn't hear no bell. Need to break those frickin' Skin Wolves if you can and use Tyrion to chase them off. That's an effective way to use Tyrion. Use him to just kind of chase things off and do his thing there. Skin Wolves here, folding up the Reavers, and we do have some Reaver archers need to train their shots onto the Skin Wolves here. And that's going to be a nice burning head, but they're Marauder champions. So like I said, their armor will mitigate a lot of that. Had that been a basic Marauder, they would have gotten folded really, really badly. Side objective does go to the High Elves. They are able to get it done. All right, so Skin Wolves here get broken. And now the mighty Norskins, the Warhammer Fantasy Vikings, are going to be moving up and trying to make a valiant last stand on objective 1. If they lose objective 1, it's probably game over. But if they're able to hold it, you know, obviously that's the most... I feel like that's like a John Madden moment. Like, you know those like NFL and like basketball commentators who are like saying the most obvious shit? They're just like, oh, you know, you to win the game here, you know, they really need to put the ball in the end zone. And it's like, yeah, no shit. You're down in points. That's how you win the game, right? It was like one of those moments. Who won the Khorne Kislev game? Khorne ended up winning that one, Harambe. Yeah. All right. So the Elves are making a play for the objective, and they have time. They have several minutes. Tyrion chasing down the wolves over here, but you got to be careful. The problem is if Tyrion overchases and then gets caught by like Beasts of Tashnar here, he gets chased off the battlefield, and then suddenly the Elves are going to be much weaker. So yeah, Stinger's playing very recklessly over here, but yeah, I think I don't know if his opponent really notices that or cares too much about that. So you're going to need 2,000 points to win here, I know, yeah. The John Madden commentary. He used to do that. John Madden was a great... he was a really, really fun commentary, but yeah, he used to just state the obvious quite a bit. All right, so are they going to be able to get this objective in time? There's still a little bit of fighting over here, but the Rangers are doing their best. And the High Elves are going to be calling in mass mobility, probably. Dragon Princes, any sort of shock cavalry would probably be very, very helpful here. Archers shooting into the Marauders here, not doing badly, but the Norskin Ice Wolves are hot in the case. Reavers do manage to intercept them and are trading well, and the Reaver Archers do get away. And are the Elves going to be able to break through? I mean, the Marauder Champions are one of the more stalwart infantry for their price point in the game. Norskins, the longer they fight in combat, the stronger they get. They get leadership, they get physical resist. So these like grindy fights coming in from the Norskin Marauders is really, oh my god, and a full health unit of champions, basically. You know, I actually think HitmanHippo probably wins this. I just don't think the High Elves are going to have the killing power to get through all this. Granted, a really, really impressive match, but I don't know. How is he going to get past these Marauder champions? Like, he needs freaking Warlines of Krace. He calls in an Arcane Phoenix, which isn't a bad idea because the Marauder champions are not immune to psychology, so terror routing them is very viable. But yeah, Warlines of Krace are really needed, considering how many Marauder champions we've seen from HitmanHippo this game. Some sort of or maybe even just White Lines of Krace, like some armor-piercing units. Like, the Spearmen are such wet noodles against the Marauder champs. Rangers going to be screaming on over, and on the backside we do see Norska cackling here a little bit. Tyrion is 400 HP, and he's going to do a bombardment right over the face of these guys if he's paying attention. Yeah, he does. Really nice. Really, really good play by Stingers there. Able to cook the Marauder champions, and that's going to do several thousand damage and maybe lead to a terror rout. So that was a beautiful play right there by Stingers. Terror rout should be coming in a second. Shaken, and there's the terror rout, so they're going to be running. But you only have 70 seconds, so a minute and 10 seconds here, and we do have some cavalry coming out. Reavers And Rangers need to move over to the point. And Turin, I guess, needs to just come back here and try and keep them from getting that objective. Yeah, Arcane Phoenix doing a lot of work. Stingers really needs to just move his entire army onto the objective. Forget everything else. Get everything onto the point and just hope and pray that you're going to be able to do it. To resummon units of champions would ever keep the bonuses they've gained? No. On some matchups, some factions, yes, but like Marauder champions, their buff goes away. When they get out of combat, I believe it goes away. Let me check. Or do they change it? Oh, yeah, it changed from the old game. I don't know if they keep it. That's actually a really good question. Let me look at some of these units coming in. They don't have it, so I'm not sure. And these guys, yeah, maybe not. Maybe not. 30 seconds left to get the objective. I think the elves are cooked. Spearmen are going to be trying to move up, but the Norskins are very, very hard to break, especially without armor piercing. And like his entire infantry corps, it's all Marauder champions. It's like the perfect holding army here, guys. So Tyrion trying to hold that objective here. The elves do get the capture weight for a moment. They tickle the pickle, but it looks like it's going to be another victory for the HitmanHippo. Norska endures the wrath. So obviously Norska earned this, right? By being the aggressor. The High Elves being the defender get the advantage early. But Norska is at the disadvantage late, but their advantage then becomes the points. So that's how that kind of balances that whole system out. GG, well played. All right. That was a fun little match. Very good one, extremely close. Unorthodox build, but losing the Phoenix early, if Stingers had just kept the Phoenix for like a couple minutes longer and had it do a little something in the beginning, he wins that game pretty consistently. But losing his Phoenix early on was a little bit too much. So guys, are we at match point? We are. If HitmanHippo wins this next one, he will be closing out the series and taking home the W for the Rat Clan. All right, let's get this set up here and check the maps real quick. We are going to be on the dried floodplain. All right. So where are we going? And dried floodplain it is. Dried floodplain. All right. There we go. A little bit of a... Yeah, I think multiple styles are viable on this map. It really depends. Stingers was not on Wood Elves earlier, was he? No, he was on Corn. Okay, so Stinger's going to be on Wood Elves. And what is HitmanHippo going to be on this game? We will find out. The dragons were cool, yeah. They were fun. They definitely got mowed down by that archer setup, though. That is for sure. The dragons could have gotten some breath attacks off maybe before they died, but yeah, it was tricky. They were very busy. This is game 6 in the series, and our normal tournaments actually have like 6 games too. But man, yeah, it's going to be quick. CA just confirmed Tyrion is getting a Hydra mount. That would be interesting. It'd be cool if someone could ride a Hydra or something. That would actually probably be viable. If you could put like a Dark Elf Dreadlord with a crossbow on top of a Hydra, probably wouldn't be awful. Because it regenerates, you know? So it's like a regenerating combat lord with armor-piercing shooting. Like, it kind of becomes like a Stonehorn a little bit. Not as tanky, but... I know, Mammoth, they're just joking, Mammoth. Yeah, it's just joking. Yeah. All right. The party continues, and thank you all for joining tonight. It's been a nice little show match between these champions. I would like to see it go longer. Oh, the Dwarves versus the Wood Elves. The grudge match. It's our first Dwarf game tonight. We have not seen Chaos Dwarves or regular Dwarves. I think HitmanHippo plays Chaos Dwarves. I think he's a Chorf Enjoyer. I can't remember. I cannot recall if that is the case. All right. So what is it going to be? The Dwarves... Will we see a barge? Probably not. I don't know who's even favored in this matchup these days. Dwarves seem like they've been pretty good against Wood Elves historically. The map might be good for Wood Elves with all the trees and ambush points and line of sight blocking on this map and weird hills. Maybe the elves will be cackling a little bit. Who won? You were in the kitchen. It was a very close game, Frost, but it ended up being taken by HitmanHippo and Norska. The Vikings were able to hold. They had to fall back to their last objective in Helm's Deep it. If Stingers doesn't max archers, you would call it a 1-5. Okay. Copy that. Copy that indeed. Let's find out. What's crazy about these best of 9s too is it really taxes people's faction depth, right? Because if you're like a one trick or somebody who only knows how to play 2 or 3 factions, like you get punished in these formats pretty hard. The same thing can happen in best of 5 grand finals too. Like for beginners, like being good at one faction is fine. For intermediate players, you need to start to be good at 2 or 3, and then for advanced players, you're going to need to know like 5, 6 factions. You want to see a cab max versus dwarves? Is that your power fantasy? Like mass Stagonites with like an Orion rush or something? Just pin them back, get the objectives. Yeah, that's the power fantasy. You want to see a Hell Pit Abomination mount for Karl Franz? Yeah, that would be interesting. Definitely not lore friendly. I actually don't know, Max. I don't know if this is a... We could look at the stats real quick on Total Tavern. Let's check. Okay, so on Total Tavern, I don't know how much data we have in this one. So dwarves are... it looks like there's only 16 games played in this matchup, and the Wood Elves have won a slightly more. I think it really depends on the map. Like, dwarves are very much like a map faction. Yeah. I just like freaking flashbanging myself with that light mode on the website. Owen Gold saying Hippo needs to work his way through the RTK lineup, Yu-Gi-Oh style. Yeah. Yeah, we have like... I do want to do that. Like some sort of a... I want to do like a clan war where each clan sends their 5... Like maybe like 3 to 5 champions forward. And how it works is it's like a team street fight format where you have... Like each team will put forward a champion in the matchup versus the other team, and they'll do a 3x3, and then from there, when one team loses a player, they then call out their next player, and the guy who won for the one team stays on. So there is a chance that the other players won't get to play in a series, but it's kind of an interesting thing tactically. Like, who do you send as your opener and as your closer? Those type of things, right? Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I think we could... RTK would obviously be huge. Rat Clan could put forward a good team. I'm pretty sure Anticity could probably get like Alfred... Yeah, no, Alfredinho is actually really good at domination Anticity. He doesn't play it but too often, but he occasionally dabbles. He's good enough that he could learn it really quick, especially if you worked with him. Like, so we could get... You probably get you, Alfredinho, and if we do a 3-team event, you would just need to find one more person in ODM, which I'm sure you could totally do. And so we get ODM, we get Rat Clan, we get RTK, and then we get Sons of the Mountain. Yeah, the Dwarf Clan. They have a lot. They have a lot of Dom players actually, which will be fun. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's break it down. Let's have some fun. Here we go. Taking a look at the Dwarf Army, which is going to be led by HitmanHippo. Now, he is currently in a position where if he wins this game, he just closes out the series, and tonight's show match is going to be over. So check it out. Oh my God, it is triple flame cannon. Oh, it's barbecue time. It is barbecue time, dude. You're going to get some grilled elves over there. Now we got Malachi McKyson, and he's going to be using the Eyes of Grungni. Oh my God, I love this. So Eyes of Grungni give plus 10% range, armor-piercing damage to the flame cannons. That's really fun. Oh, I love it. So the rest of his army is going to be a screen. He's got the miners and the pencil formation, which is truly forbidden tech. A couple longbeards and a couple blasting charges as well. Now, this is Stingers. Stingers is in a little bit of trouble here. If he loses this game, he is eliminated from the series. Ladies and gentlemen, he is eliminated. All right, it is going to be Dryads, Pentadryad, which of course are good at getting on the objectives quickly. And we do see War Dancers, Glade Guard, Starfire Shafts, and more War Dancers. Now, if I was a wagering man, I would probably say the Dwarven army is going to roast this Elven army. I don't know, I don't know how they're going to deal with those flame cannons. You know, I have no idea. Let's find out. So the Dwarven Pencil Formation, which is a rare sighting. Normally you see them in a very standard formation, but they're going to be coming. So they are on their way up. And will Stingers get back in this game? He is going to get all 3 objectives. Honestly, against the triple flame cannon, I would just play like as gremlin-y as possible and just not engage and just try and hold the objectives as long as possible. Because value trading against 3 flame cannons is going to be brutally hard. Like when they start shooting against Dryads, you guys are going to see Gotham's Reckoning. All right, but all 3 objectives do go to Stingers out of the gates. Yeah, Elves could maybe force flank. Yeah, indeed, that's what I was thinking too. You just come through the woods here, get on top of those things. You know, a couple of sneaky Dryads can definitely do it, but the Dwarves can just call in blasting charges and annihilate the Dryads as they try and do that. So the benefit of the pencil formation is you're reducing the frontage of the unit to only 4 units. So when your opponent attacks your crappy pencil formation unit with a very elite unit or a stronger unit, they're not going to be hitting as many of your models. So basically, it massively reduces the efficacy of your own unit in combat, but reduces the amount of damage they're going to be taking. So it's kind of just like a holding piece, a holding tactic, I do dare say. So the dwarves are going to need to move up and grab an objective. We do see some Wilded Rangers being called in by Stingers. Stingers also has a life caster, so he does have Earthblood and Flesh to Stone here to give a little bit of support there. And yep, the battle's soon to be on. Miners with blasting charges are waiting in the wings. We do have 2 of them in the back. And here, the Glade Guard Starfire Shaft's going to move up and start poking. And here comes the first Flame Cannon salvos. Oh, is it going to hit? Oh, it looks like it did hit. And how much damage did we take? Not that much, actually. It looked like that was just a partial hit. Yeah, it was only one piece of the volley. Okay. And he dodges the rest of them, is able to get out of range of the Flame Cannons. But some of the shots do come in and end up cooking some of the elves there. All right. So, Flame Cannons are shooting in. And yeah, the archers are doing this. And they are getting melted by the Flame Cannons. And up in the sky, we do see the Lord of the Elves coming in. So the Spellweaver, I don't even know what is this thing even doing here? Like, what does this eagle think it's going to do, you know? Is it going to just stare menacingly at the cannons and just hope they stop shooting? So the dwarves do roll on the objective and are able to get it. Currently, the victory points do favor the elves, but the elves are going to have to play the map. Yeah, and we see the forest flank coming in. So dryads in the trees. We are going to probably see some war dancers pile in there as well. But the dwarves are like Thanos. They have the inevitable push. They're gonna keep moving and keep grinding. Hey, Eldritch Shelf, thank you for resubscribing on old Twitch. Hey, Turin, commentary MVP. Thank you, man. I do appreciate that. Yeah, you know, gyrocopters probably not. I mean, flamethrower gyrocopters can be good against elves in the late game once the archers are in trouble. But man, you cannot let the dwarves have this objective, because if you let the dwarves get comfy on 2 objectives, they're just gonna plop down and they're just gonna sit there, and it's gonna be tough to get them off, man. All right, Flame Cannons are shooting into the archers and forcing the elves back into the trees. And yep, they're going to be fleeing, so there they go. The Flame Cannons are incredibly cool, by the way. It's a shame they're so terrible on tabletop. And it looks like they're trying to actually shoot the Spellweaver here, which is kind of an odd target there, but there's not too much else to shoot at. And the dwarves are going to be contesting it, but we are going to see maybe some war dancers move up, some dryads being sacrificed. Do not let the dwarves have this objective. In my opinion, that is really, really tough. And the dwarves are expecting a forest flank. They have Longbeards over here. They have more dwarf warriors coming in. And this is a really, really cool way to see this go, man. Those guys are going to be getting cooked up. Robert Duvall smiles on this build. Yeah, a little apocalypse now, huh? Yeah, another archer unit getting folded. I feel like Stingers is like kind of having trouble figuring out what to do here. The dwarves do get up on the point. Flame Cannon shooting into the dryads. And the forest flank has been denied. I mean, eventually he's going to need to move, because, guys, the ammunition is not going anywhere. Flame Cannons have an obscene amount of ammunition. So, yeah, they've shot, and, like, look, they're all very healthy. They can do this all day. It's been 4 minutes. Oh, my God, look at this Spellweaver getting cooked by the Flame Cannon. Oh, no. Stinger's going to be dropping a heal right there, but I don't know if that's going to be enough. All right, guys, Spellweaver of Shadows is getting the biz there, and on the other side, it is going to be the Flame Cannons moving, and the Wood Elves are going to sound the horn of war. They're going for it now. I think it's just all hands on deck here. Yeah, it's looking really tough, dude. The Flame Cannon meta. This is such a cool game. Narrator, he did not get the build-up memo. Yeah, you got to build up against this. You got to do what Tim the Wilder does. Yes, or Own Gold now. Sorry, apologize. War Dancers grinding away here versus the Longbeards. 48 melee defense. Flame Cannons are just going to melt them in combat. And there's Slayers waiting back here. There's Longbeards. Do they get the objective back here? The Wilded Rangers is going to be moving towards the point, objective number 2. And this should be a meme, but it's so good. I know, that's what's fun about it. Wilded Rangers are going to get some nice crumping, and maybe the Elves can work some point situation. I don't know, we're going to have to see. Wilded Rangers will win versus the Dwarf Warriors, and War Dancers do beat basic Dwarf Infantry too. Need to get a little bit more active with these cavalry. Maybe like loop around the outside of the formation and threaten the cannons here. Wood Elves also really need to focus on getting this objective back. They have a lot of Wildwood Rangers back here, a lot of Dryads. If the Dwarves lose this game, it's just going to be on points. It certainly won't be on value. He's going to be trying to squeeze through here, but Malachi and the shield wall of the stalwart Dwarves is going to be hanging right there. As we do see the Dwarf Warriors advancing up, a couple light cavalry going to be trying to get in, squeezing through the ranks, and one flame cannon is going to be taken offline for a moment. And now the Wood Elves are going to sound the Horn of the Woods, the Horn of the Wild Hunt. Come up, reclaim this objective during all the chaos. That's the only chance. That's the only chance. I think if the Wood Elves just go all in right now and say, okay, I know I'm losing on value, I'm going to stuff you, and I'm going to win on points. I think that is the decision that Stingers has to make right now. The Flame Cannons are still shooting, but it's a closer game than you would think. I mean, the value 25 against 4.3 with healing magic, and a lot of the damage on the Lord. It's actually not as bad for the Wood Elves as it looks. I mean, they are losing, like I said, on some fronts, but don't be surprised if the Wood Elves start to, get back in this game. So Wildwood Rangers trying to make their way in, eating a little bit of a flame cannon salvo. I think, no, that was actually shooting at the units back here, shooting at something back here. Looks like they're going after the archers in the backfield. Flame cannons shooting and having some trouble with the elevation, it looks like. Yeah, the hill is kind of skewing the efficacy of that cannon right there. So on the back, Glade Riders going to be creeping around. Slayers are hot to intercept them. 2 flame cannons are still very functional. I think there was a third one that was knocked off, but probably going to be recrewed. And yeah, you know what? Stingers might actually have a chance at this, guys. He does. Oh, he was shooting the archers. Okay. Yeah, he was going after the archers right there, ladies and gentlemen. And they do get blasted, but the Wood Elves are going to get the triple cap again, That's the thing. They're getting that sweet, sweet cap. And how are the Dwarves going to deal with the Wildwood Rangers? Definitely need some archers, probably, like some Rangers or Bugman's Rangers or something like that. I think you're going to need a little something to get through all of that meat right there. A couple cav units going to be trying to break through the Dwarven lines. The Dwarves are holding very, very firm. And here we do have Slayers getting butchered by the Wildwood Rangers. And you know what? This game is actually suddenly looking like the Elves might be able to do something. Despite being behind on value, the Flame Cannons are in very precarious positions. One of them is online and shooting. This one's retreating back, but is vulnerable to a cav charge here. And this one here may be going to get shut down by some Dryads as well as some cav. So that could happen. And remember, guys, Stingers is fighting for dear life right now. If he loses this game, he is eliminated from the show match tonight. He is done, and that will be a 5-1 victory for HitmanHippo. So HitmanHippo trying to close it out, but certainly not easy against a high-caliber opponent here. As the Slayers do come back this way to chase down the Glade Riders with spears. This Flame Cannon also compromised in melee by some of the light cavalry. Dwarves are struggling to deal with the Wildwood Rangers. That is for sure. The front line of the Dwarves is getting folded. And a lot of great weapons going to be pushing through. And Stingers and RTK could be back on the menu. Flame Cannon roasting a couple of those advancing units as the Dryads close the distance here. A couple of the Glade Riders do actually get caught in some of the collateral fire. Flame Cannon going to be stabilized here. And the value is getting close, which is really, really bad for the Dwarves. Because, they are losing horribly on objectives. They have not been able to get an objective in a long time. And, yeah, it is troublesome. The presentation. Well, chill. I'm glad you're enjoying it, man. I'm glad you're enjoying it. Objective 3, Objective 2, and Objective 1 belong to the Children of the Woods. The Dowie still up in value, but are they going to be able to scrap back in time? One Flame Cannon taken to Pound Town here, actually ripped apart by these Dryads in the woods. Well, they're from the woods. And yeah, the Dwarves are going to be running for the hill. So Flame Cannon situation, we have one Flame Cannon still in line, but it's rapidly being aggressed by a lot of Elven infantry. And the Dwarves just didn't have the infantry quality to hold this. They needed more blasting charges. I think we only saw 2. There needed to be like 10 blasting charges on standby to massacre the Wildwood Rangers when they advanced. Because at this point, I think the game's actually over. Yep, it's over. Stingers actually caught the Dwarves. So Homie was down 4,000 value. He came back, got the objectives, and stayed in the fight. So he is going to be there. Man. Hey, Harambe, thank you for resubscribing, man. I really appreciate you. Thank you for hanging around the old man party for so long. I greatly appreciate you, my friend. As the Wildwood Rangers going to be attempting to nibble here. They're going to get her done. And yeah, that's it. It's over. This game's over. There's no chance. The Dwarves have no killing power. Their Lord is dying. He's trying a ninja cap on the other side. We see a couple infantry called out to try and ninja this point. But the Wood Elves could simply summon a Wild Rider or any number of infantry units to counter that. And he's very close to just winning on points right here. Yeah, Stingers back in the board. I mean, it was looking like very bleak. It looked like he was going to be eliminated from the show match, but he keeps it going. How the tables have turned. Hey, Shooty, thank you so much for subscribing as well. Appreciate you, boss. Yeah, a lot of people would have lost their cool and blundered and lost that game. But yeah, it's a very good articulation, Urethron. Stingers did a good job staying calm and finding a time to strike. And he played the objectives well, too. Like, he saw there was an opening for that dwarf objective. He wasn't scared, and he went for it. And he got it done, right? All right, yeah, there's no chance. I don't know why HitmanHippo hasn't left yet. This one's like super, super over. He may be going to be trying to ninja the outside objective, but the Dwarves have no points. Like, they have no points. And they would need to get all the points. Maybe he thinks he can. I don't know. Yeah, and it does look like the blasting charge is coming in. We needed a little bit more blasting charges from HitmanHippo this game, I think. I don't know. Maybe he did have max blasting charges. Some Iron Breakers would have been really good, too. They would have been able to hold and also kill a lot of these units. 9 games are back on the menu, yes. Yeah. Doomseekers could be neat also. Yeah, the magic damage relevant against Dryads, and they can certainly butcher down the Wildwood Rangers. Maybe more of an archer line, too, but that does make you a little bit more vulnerable to being, like, swarmed. If you have 3 flame cannons, bringing more archers is a very tough gambit. So, victory for the Wood Elves against the Dwarves, and that is going to be Stingers back on the board. So RTK is still in it, but the champion of Rat Clan only needs to win one game to close this one out. Uno game. Flame Cannon value, 1,800, 1,800, and 740. Not bad at all. They paid for themselves. Just the front line could not hold against the onslaught of the elves. Really fun build from HitmanHippo, though. I loved every second of that. That was a great game. All right. So, what is next? And we are going to be doing the Arachnarok Lair. Very much a brawler map. Yes. So, we will see how that goes. I shall stand disproven, says Attack Speed. Oh, yeah. That's funny. Great match. All right. So, we're going to be on Arachnarok Lair. And I'm pretty sure they have their matchup squared away for this one, too. So, we should be all set. All right. Triple artillery is risky, but it depends on the map. Now, if the dwarves, Nathan, if the dwarves were on a map where they have a home objective, which is really safe, that build would have been exponentially stronger. But that map was, although good for the cannon positions, it was not good for the game plan. Because if you're on a map where you have a home objective that's skewed away from your opponent, you can easily defend that while the artillery has more time to generate value. And you're getting points at least, right? Yeah. So that's basically my jam there. Blade Singers, yeah, Wildwood Rangers kind of just take their role. They're like the same unit basically, but Wildwood Rangers are just more common because they're cheaper. Oh, Nurgle! Nurgle's Pestilent Glory! So you ready to see a million Hellstriders versus... It's the one time Slaanesh gets out of its cage is when the Hellstriders are coming from Warriors of Chaos. Well, you know, I try not to be biased in my commentary, but I love Nurgle as a faction. Nurgle is so cool. But I'm like huge fans of both of these guys. HitmanHippo is one of my favorite players of all time. I love watching HitmanHippo play. Because HitmanHippo is a top tier player who plays off meta also. Like he plays off meta at a high level, which is super rare. Yeah. Tammy and Double Toe Dragon. I don't know. I don't know if he's going to meme. I mean, he just got back on the board. Is he really going to throw? By going with a freaking Mass Toe Dragon build? I don't think so. Tamarcon, though, is playable against Warriors of Chaos. It's not unplayable. He's not bad at all. I can't remember what my build is against Walk. Gotcha. How's all that going? Are you own goal? Are you still playing some land battle stuff? Are you mainly doing Dom these days? Kind of splitting between both. What's been your jam? I mean, I've obviously seen you playing a lot of Dom, so the question more so is, have you been playing some land battle stuff? Nurgle is wild to watch. It's like seeing a whole nother world compared to how I play. Yeah, Nurgle is a different beast. They really are. It's a very different style. So HitmanHippo with the Warriors of Chaos versus Nurgle. Now, I would have to say if I was just two equally skilled players, you know, I think that Warriors of Chaos are favored in this matchup. Burning Head Archeon, Hellstriders dominate the mobility. Marauder Horsemen are a problem. All Dom, you've been playing all domination? Hell yeah, dude, let's go. Let's get it. You'll make it Nurgle Mirror. We could have a Nurgle Mirror tournament where everyone has to play Nurgle. I'm actually painting a Great Unclean one right now. I have one in the garage. I've just got to be getting started on him, which is pretty cool. Yeah, they're fun. So the Death Guard in Warhammer 40,000. So I'm a Death Guard player, and they're obscenely strong right now. But Death Guard got a new detachment, which is really cool, where it allows them to bring a half their army could be Nurgle demons. So it's super flavorful. You can have like an army of Plague Marines with like a Great Unclean one marching behind them. It's so badass. Yeah, it's very fun. It's not the most competitive list, but it's very cool. Yeah, Razor, to each their own. To each their own. A lot of people enjoy land battle. Come from, you know. I think for like pure RTS gamers, you know, or RTS gamers in general, domination is just superior. But if you like old school Total War battles, like the style of just two armies with no reinforcements and no objectives, then I totally understand why people like prefer the land battle. Land battle also has better cinematics too, in a way. Like it can be very like sometimes the endings in domination can be anticlimactic. It's like there's two big armies and then the game just ends on points. Whereas like seeing things fight to the bitter end is sometimes very fun in land battle as well. Petition to have own goal change his name every week so Turin forgets to call him. No, please don't do that. Please. Oh, no. You just got your Legionnaires kill team. Nice. You got to paint them Iron Warriors, dude. Get the silver and the hazard stripes going. If I were to... Yeah, I do want to start an Iron Warriors army. But I think I'm going to add some Nurgle Demons first to my Death Guard before I do that. Yeah, I do miss seeing Hadrius in action, yeah. Hadrius is always a fun player to watch. He might come back someday. I bet you if we get another big title. No, please don't. I think there's already another guy in the land battle community who goes by Turin as well. I wonder what his influence is. Is he from Italy, or is it just he likes Turin Bar from from the Silmarillion? Yeah, be curious. Okay, and we're about ready. Yeah, it's definitely from a pacing from a spectator perspective, it's very fun, but from like a tournament organizer perspective, I just didn't like dealing with the drama of rules. Like, because I used to host a lot of high stakes tournament with big prizes, right? I don't know what the land battle community is like now. I think most of the prizes in the land battle community are actually not cash based; they're more based on like art and aesthetic pieces. But when we used to have land battle with like $500, $1,000, $2,000 for these big tournaments, and having to have like gray area rules enforced by admins, it was misery, and it was incredibly stressful. Like there was times where I had to, like one of my like friends would like, for example, break a rule, and it's like a gray area, and you have to make a hard call, and then you have to call in other officials to like verify your decision and shit. And I'm just like, dude, this isn't a real RTS game. This is a joke. Like having to do this. Like games should just be self-sufficient. Like you shouldn't have to like have players like making judgment calls on gray area situations in a freaking battle, It's silly. Yeah. So that was what kind of drove me away from it. But I love the spectacle of land battle. I really did love that. That was so fun. When it was good, it was good. But when it was bad, it was really bad, Yeah. And that's another thing. Anticity raising a great point. Big incentives to get as close to the rules as possible without getting kicked. Yeah, exactly. Which is dumb. At least for me. Like I remember in Warhammer 2, I was like trying to pitch, pitch the like multiplayer stuff I was doing to like sponsors and to other streamers and get like collaborations from other RTS creators and stuff. And most of them, when they saw the rule system and the rule breaks and all that, were kind of like turned off from it. Yeah. Domination isn't perfect either. That's for sure. Like both game modes have their flaws, but overall, just my personal preference. Yeah. And I think now that money has mainly been taken out of land battle, like actual cash prizes and things like that, it's probably gotten a lot better. When there's money involved, drama gets involved, not in domination though, because in dom, there's no way to really game the system that way, except for like, smurfing and those type of things. My goal is and hope is that in whatever future Total War game we get, I hope that we have one game mode that everybody plays and everybody just enjoys. That would be the way to do it, Like I miss my homies I used to play land battle with, and the ones that like I miss having Alfredinho in our tournaments and casting his games, and Zyphos and all these guys who prefer land battle stuff, I just hope we get everybody together for the next game, Yeah. So, yep. Here's my boomer rant for the night. And let's get it. Let's have some fun. Well, here we are with Stingers and HitmanHippo. Let's do it. Do it. Yeah, Anticity for sure. For sure. No, they might exist here, Ethron, but if you had something that was like more of a middle ground, like I actually think Conquest mode is pretty good, and Conquest mode is solid. It's a big step up from land battle for me. All right, guys, let's take it down and let's have some fun. Here we are in our show match. HitmanHippo going to be trying to close the series out with the Forbidden Warriors of Chaos. We do have Marauder Horsemen into the Sunset, going to be 4 of those. Archeon the Everchosen with Burning Head to cook the Nurgle Infantry, and Aeson the Fallen. Oh, I love to see that. That's fun. So big ROR Mutalith Beast designed to kill infantry. And I think there was one more unit we were missing somewhere in the back. Yeah, is it a Deathcaster? Oh, a Sorcerer? Wait, a Chaos? He's using the Vampire Count tactics. He's got a Chaos Sorcerer who's only going to be rubbing his rod on the back of the battlefield. Oh, shit, that's cool. Not quite as cost effective, but very, very neat. Now, looking at Stingers, we got Nurglings, Pestigors in the Vanguard, very good infantry here. And it's going to be Kugath Plaguefather with Khazak the Befouled, Forsaken, and Plaguebearers as well. All right, guys, let the good times roll, and let's see how this goes. Kugath throwing his bathwater at his opponents across the map. and it is go time. So basically the game plan is Kugath is just going to just AFK on the middle, and Nurgle's going to probably try to overload objective 1, and that is going to be the game plan. Let's see how this goes. Now, Kasich the Befouled going to be hustling to the low ground. Nurgle, surprisingly quick here, able to get the Pestigores. Now, I think it's a big mistake to not have the Noxbringer. So Noxbringer sucks at long range, but at medium range, like here, it wrecks skirmishers. It drains their ammo, it kills them. It's one of the only ways that Nurgle can effectively deal with skirmishers. In every match I've had successful against enemy skirmish play, it's always because of the Noxbringer usually. Or swarming tactics. You could also do swarming where you provide 1 million infantry with healing and the Nurgle lore passive, but yeah, overall tricky stuff. Now, the fight, a little bit of poke down here. Pestigor's getting it. Stream of Corruption is going to be going right through those 2 horsemen, which isn't bad. And those guys do take a little bit of damage. But is Kugath just going to get ping-ponged? Kugath is very easy to avoid for a fast army like this, but this map is relatively small. The distance between these 2 objectives is not that far, so those bad boys can definitely move it and groove it. So yeah, I like parking a Plague Bearer down here. I like that a lot. So the middle fight is going to begin. Kugath is throwing his bombardments at the horsemen, and the horsemen are actually trying to kill Kugath, which is a bold strategy, Cotton. It takes a ton of effort to bring him down. Kugath needs to get in melee right now and go fight Aeson the Fallen. He's way better in melee than at range. Plague Bearer is going to be hustling up, and Kugath is going to be a pincushion, which is fine. Kugath is actually okay at tanking these type of things, but he could still be taken down. Now in the back, we do see a Hell Cannon being called out, so it is going to be the mighty Dildo Cannon, the Soul of Damnation. You literally have 2 balls and a giant shaft. It is the most Dildo Cannon thing ever. But yes, we do have the Hell Cannon actually targeting down Kugath, but now we get the Angels of Decay, which are going to be a really hard counter against Aeson the Fallen if the Marauder Horsemen can't reach them. So this actually presents a bit of a conundrum for the Warriors of Chaos. Do they continue firing at Kugath, or do they put their ammunition into the Angels of Decay? Now, this is meta Nurgle 101. Provide a weird threat overload situation, and if they split their fire, they're not going to be able to kill either of the targets, and you could just cackle. I don't like what he's doing with the Angels, though, flying into the enemy horsemen, taking a lot of free damage right there. Granted, there's going to be healing. Burning Head activated on the Plague Bearers, but the Pestigores and Kugath Plaguefather are holding, and honestly, the game is definitely Nurgle favored right now. They are looking very comfortable, and the Warriors of Chaos are looking real raggedy over here and just beat up. Aeson is damaged, and Nurgle just is comfortable on 2 objectives really, which is pretty cool. A couple Furies coming out, so Chaos Fury is going to go for the Hell Cannon, and yeah, I like that play. It's going to force his opponent to kind of keep some stuff back here. So Chaos is probably going to try and rotate the Warriors of Chaos down to the low ground objective, but Nurgle can just waddle here and just let Kugath just keep chilling. What is he even throwing his things at? Is he throwing ammunition right now? It's a little bit hard to tell. Yes, Fury's going to be flying overhead, and Nurgling's going to steal the other one. So is Nurgle going to get a freaking triple cap against this Warriors of Chaos army? That would be really, really forbidden here. All right, so we do see Kugath throwing at the skirmishers and doing good damage. 2 Pestigores arrive, and they will be able to defend it. And then the Angels of Decay, you can use them to kill the Marauder Horsemen. So, yeah, not the most cost-effective use of their ammo since they're more of an anti-large fighter, but not terrible either. So on the backside, Furies are lurking around. Where are they going to go? They're going to threat. What I would do is I would feign a charge. I would probably charge, then pull back before they land and force your opponent to summon something to defend them. Actually not too cost effective because anti-large Hellstriders suck against Furies. You could actually get the Furies to land on top of the Hellstriders and they would beat them in combat, or at least do very well. On the other side, the Nurglings and the Forsaken do manage to get down here, but Aeson the Fallen is going to be a counter against a lot of these units. But we forget Kasich the Befouled, a good fighter, an anti-infantry fighter, but still good enough stats to fight against a big beast like this. And he is going to be going at it, but Archaon, the true Lord of Chaos, advances in. And they are going to be able to push, or he is going to be able to push back Kasich the Befouled here. But the objective does still flip to Nurgle, which is crazy. And we get Plague Drones. What the hell is this? Down here, objective is safe for Nurgle. Angels of Decay are chilling. Kugath is just semi-AFK. And the Furies back here were, yeah, this is the problem. You need to bring one Hellstrider that isn't anti-large to deal with Furies. Or some, like, Blood Beast or something. Because the Furies are occupying a shit ton of stuff back here. Look how much of the Chaos Army is back here and is not getting up on the field and fighting. And Nurgle was able to get a triple cap there for a moment, which is going to help. Granted, they do get folded there a little bit. And this is a really nice pick by the Warriors of Chaos and by HitmanHippo. If he's able to pick Kasich the Befouled, take him out of the field, that's going to be big. And Kasich is going to run, and a couple of Plague Bearers are going to be shambling forth to provide a screen and block Archaon a little bit. So Kasich does escape, and now Nurgle's game plan is very, very clear. Just basically camp out on Objective 2 and Objective 1, and if they overcommit to either of those, you can always just try and go for a Nurgling snipe on the back point there. In the meantime, Angels of Decay do gather back here, and they're going to be trying to take down that Hell Cannon, actually. Very risky with all the Horsemen nearby. The Marauder Horseman throwing axes will do a shit ton of damage against them, and they only have 10 models left. They're losing a lot of HP. It is taking the Horsemen away from the main fight, but I think this is a mistake. I think keeping him in the fight and keeping him alive and healed is for sure the way. But if it does get the Hell Cannon, then maybe it's worth it. But I don't know if it's going to be the case. I think they might start crumbling before that's going to happen here. More Death Heads grenades being used on the Dawizar crew, and there's only a couple crew members left. This is a beautiful play by HitmanHippo because by running the crew away, it forces the AI of the flying unit to attack the crew instead of the big artillery piece itself, which would have potentially killed that. So that's a very, very brilliant play there. So Kugath is just being the Plague Father, hanging out in the point here, and yeah, now he's battling Archaon. Archaon actually does lose to Kugath in a fight. Kugath is probably one of the strongest one-on-one fighters in the game, if not the strongest. So yeah, Maelstrom of Change here, and that is going to be forcing Archie back. But a couple little blunders here. I mean, seeing the Plague Drones die for basically nothing is pretty rough. And on the back, we do have another Plague Drone coming in and some more Furies. Aeson the Fallen, though, doing some work, and Kha'Zix over-chasing Archaon a little bit. Could have been caught right there by the Hellstriders. But yeah, Nurgle had the advantage, but I think they've partially thrown it a little bit, and now it's going to be a very even game. Plague Drones landing on Hellstriders, a little bit dangerous. They can obviously turn around and fight with Archaon and probably win that fight since these guys are large targets. A couple Plague Bears moving in, and Kugath, if Kugath can get to the point where basically you just win on one objective, then that's pretty big. Oh my god, does Kugath not have... He didn't bring Fleshy Abundance on Kugath? What planet are we on? Oh, that's a huge mistake. Kugath is a character that really needs Fleshy Abundance, especially against factions with a bunch of horsemen and shit. He can get Pincushion. Okay. You really need Fleshy Abundance on him. I mean, Fecundity as well as the army passive or lore passive is fine, but that is, in my opinion, a colossal mistake. In the Warriors of Chaos matchup, you want to bring Rancid Visitations, and you also want to bring Fleshy Abundance. Those are the spells you want to bring, because the lore passive spam, basically what Stingers is doing is he's spamming cheap spells from Kugath to trigger the lore passive. But when your army is as small as his is, because of Kugath, it's not very good because you're just not getting that much healing across the board. So yeah, some slight blunders from a Nurgle perspective, and Nurgle's like the one faction I can play at a very high level. So I do feel I can comment on this. On the back, Fury's trying to take down the Soul of Damnation again. Hellstrider's going to jump on them. We'll tune back into that fight in just a minute. But this is still a game that Nurgle can win. They're going to need to hold that low ground objective a little bit longer. Definitely can't let the Warriors of Chaos flip this one. So get some Pesties, get some Forsaken down there. Hold that point. Get the Plague Drones down there. Plague Drones are a very good counter against Forsaken. And he is going to be using them over here to go after these guys right there. So there they go, charging on down to the Forsaken. And yeah, they'll be good against them. Forsaken will struggle, and the Armor Piercing will get the job done. Because Forsaken don't get their charge bonus either against, when he charges them from the air, obviously. Plague Bear is being ground down by Aeson the Fallen, so he's up to about 1,300 value right now. So he is doing the Aura of Mutation. So definitely a nice Mortis Engine effect on the Plague Bears. Very, very cost effective. And will Nurgle be able to kind of hang on here? Will they get it done? Oh, that's a lot of capture weight. Very, very close. Forsaken do arrive. I think they're going to get there on time to get that objective. And Kha'Zix, the Befouled, fighting Forsaken here should be pretty cost effective. And Nurgle does manage to hold on to it. I think if Nurgle had lost this objective, they might have lost the game. So that was good. Kugath, in the meantime, the fact that he doesn't have Fleshy Abundance means he's actually potentially going to be killed between the Hell Cannon and some of the skirmishers. It looks like the Fury was able to get the Hell Cannon offline. Yeah, he was able to get it offline and force an unsummon most likely as the ammunition ran very, very low. But yeah, Kugath just parks in the middle objective. Archaon is going to go for the low-hanging fruit where he can. Kha'Zix, the Befouled, charges Archaon and actually does connect and do some good damage. But Archie is going to be popping Slayer of Kings and just rocking a casual 800 weapon strength. Nice burning head there, going to be cooking some of the diseased infantry. Great flavor on that, as Nurgle desperately tries to hold on to the objectives. The lore passive healing is not bad. Angels of Decay, or Plague Drones, just regular ones, waiting in the wings. You can also use those to tie down Aeson the Fallen. Kugath probably needs to stay on this objective. He throws a bombardment, actually hits Archaon right in the back there, which is pretty funny. Getting a rear charge. A couple of Furies going to be on the way in. Kha'Zix, the Befouled, and the Forsaken battling tooth and nail here. As we do see objective number 1 looking pretty good for Nurgle, but a lot of chaos is gathering on the hill, and the middle objective could definitely be ninja'd. Like, if all these horsemen in mobility rotate here, and these marauders move up on the point, Kugath could lose that objective. And God, man, I really wish he had brought Fleshy Abundance. That's such a setback for him not to have that. Nurgle is very close to winning on just one objective, but if Kugath is going to die, which I think he's going to, because Aeson, and yeah, the Alpha Strike coming in from HitmanHippo, man. That's going to be brutal. Angels of Decay needed to be kept defensive and just follow around Aeson. Nothing else matters because he was allowed to just farm infantry, and that's going to be game over. We are going to see Big Kugath getting absolutely slapped up by Archaon and Aeson the Fallen. So very rare to see a Kugath death in a battle. It's not something that happens often, but he is down for the count. And ladies and gentlemen, that is going to be the end of Nurgle. They basically have no chance now. So a couple inefficiencies in play and spell inefficiencies. I think if Kugath had a couple of flesh eats, he could maybe last longer and they could still win. But in this case, that is going to be costing the Plague Father the game. But really nice match. I mean, having a close match versus HitmanHippo is a testament to how good of a player you are, right? HitmanHippo is a top-tier player, top 16, major event winner, and taking games off him at all is a huge accomplishment. So Stingers was able to keep some very, very close games today and put up a great fight. Put in an absolutely great fight. All right, on the backside here, Kha'Zix the Befouled and the Forsaken of Nurgle going to be screaming on a cross. And yeah, just going to get farmed. Aeson the Fallen is just going to farm him, and it's going to be a triple cap across the board. Kugath was like the glue that held together that army. And the Warriors of Chaos are feasting here this day. All right, guys, GG, well played. This objective soon going to be flipping to the Dark Gods. Well, they're all Dark Gods here, but yeah. There actually are some builds, Iceband, where you don't bring Fleshy Abundance, but they're Horde builds, where you have a mass infantry swarm and you just spam spells to heal across the entire board. If you're going big and elite, you don't want to. You need to bring like Fleshy as well as Rancid. Yeah. GG, well played, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed that one. And remember, when you play in a best of 9, you can sometimes run into situations where players run out of factions they're really practiced at. You know, that was what, 6 games played, 7 games. Most people aren't good at that many factions, like 7 games worth, right? So that will be something you will see in these kind of matches here. All right, guys. GG. Really cool seeing Aeson the Fallen get in there and do some glorious combat. Hell Cannon as well. And honestly, the build from Stingers wasn't the worst thing in the world. It was a winnable game for him. You guys want an FFA to close things out? I am so down. Let's do that. Let's do an FFA match. All right. So we're going to do a free-for-all match, and I'm going to rejoin this. So let me find it. Refresh. You guys got to let me in, of course. And that's going to be this, and we're going to join it. All right. It is time for the FFA, guys. So we got one spot open for anybody to come join this. And let's see. Who are we going to go with? Let's do greenskins, actually. That's going to be fun. All right. So one spot, and what we're going to do is we're going to have an auto-gen. So I'm going to tell the guys GG for playing. GG. So you two want an FFA? I'm going to see if they want to do a quick FFA. If not, we can do one, you know. Okay, so trust here. Auto-gen army 3 times and use third army. So we're doing an auto-gen FFA. So if you're joining this, Maximillionaire, you need to auto-gen your army. You're going to click the auto-gen army 3 times, and whatever your army is on the 3rd try is what you get. 1, 2, and 3. Okay. I got a Mangler Squig. I got Rugled's Armored Error Boys, and I'm ready to go. Yeah. No cutting spells. Nothing. No cutting spells. Spells or abilities. Okay. Max. Auto-gen army 3 times. Use third army, and no cutting spells, abilities. Auto-gen will make FFA way more fun, in my opinion, because FFA can get really lame with just mass mobility and sniping builds, but this is actually like, you know, you're going to have some actual units. All right, I told Maximillionaire, so hopefully he's doing it. Perfect. Outstanding. That I got a Mangler Squig. I have a Bolt Thrower too. Man, I got a little bit of artillery here. Ah, all right. And I got Wurzag and a freaking Squig Lord. Yeah. It's going to be fun. Max, he's very good at vampires. Hopefully we don't have lag. I know Maximillionaire has some lag sometimes. Hopefully it's not too bad. Please no. So how are you guys enjoying the Showmatch format, like compared to other tournaments? Because I think it's very fun. Getting to showcase the range that these players have. And if we can find people who don't lag, it's obviously very nice. But I've been enjoying it. I think it's a fun one to do. I think it's just fun indeed. Mangler Squigs really just dropped off. Yeah, they could use a minor buff, Anticity. I love all the bounce change stuff you've been talking about, Anticity. I've been seeing you, like, you know, conversing with CA a little bit and all this stuff. It's great, man. You know, I'm like that meme of like, I'm tired, boss. I, like, just take the reins, dude. Just freaking tell him what's up, you know? Yeah, Showmatch is a great change of pace. Yeah, the games are pretty quick too, because they're just back to back. And let me do this, do that here. And here we go. The auto-gen meta. Yeah, the auto-gen meta is upon us. Fear it, run from it. It will find you all the same. Oh, old man stretchy noises. Oh, God. Let's get it, man. Stretch those shoulders out. Okay, so just waiting for HitmanHippo to load. And we're going to see how good my auto-gen army is. Is it going to be truly forbidden? Yeah. It's not bad, you know? What do we got? So who's across from us? We got green, which is the Chaos Dwarves? Yeah, Chaos Dwarves. Oh, boy. Okay, so let's get our ramshackle front line. So we got a Black Orc. We got you. We got a Goblin. We have some nasty Skulkers, which can lurk over here. We got Ruggled's Armored Air Boys. And I do have artillery, so we're going to get a Bolt Thrower here. Oh, no, that's a Pump Wagon. Sorry. Okay. So that's that. Wurzag is on... Oh, I got Wurzag on his pig. And did I get you on a squig? Oh, I have a mobile character squad. Let's freaking go. 3. And Manglers are going to be chilling out over here. 4. And then artillery and artillery 4. 5, actually. And then these guys in 4. I even have... Dude, I have a pretty good little army. I have a nice little army here. I'm actually not upset about this. And we got some Skulkers. We can put them in group 7 or something and just move out. Okay. I think auto-gen is the way to... It just clicked for me tonight. Like, I think FFA should be played with auto-generated armies. Like, it's so much better than... Regular FFA kind of sucks, because it's just like, oh, I'm going to bring 4 war wagons, 2 flying lords, and just, like, cheese around the map, and just, like... But now you have, like... You know, oh shit, it's the vampires. Okay, I don't know how this is going to go. Oh, he's got a vampire lord there. All right. So we're going to start going here, and we're going to get the bolt thrower to shoot at the cryptors here. And we're going to go up to fight him. All right. No idea. I think both sides are just going to square off. Although, is he running already? Yeah, no, they're going to be... Holy shit. Oh my god, that Chaos Dwarf army. Jeez Louise. Draz Hoeth, a Bale Torse, and a Lamasu. Oh my god, that's savage. All right, so let's get the bolt thrower shooting here. And we need to move up. What spells? Yeah, so I have the entire lore because we're not allowed to cut. We're going to use the Skulkers here. And the Boar Boy Biggins are just going to kind of lurk in the back and protect the artillery, I think. That is a true vampiric host. We got Graveguard Halberds, Vargulfs. Are there any good quality infantry? There are some Graveguard back there. Okay. So we are going to go ahead and save our magic. Yeah, probably just like combat buffs, things like that. It's going to be the way to do it. And we could drop these Squig Summon, but we're going to save that for now. All right, so Mangler Squigs are here. We're going to keep you guys nearby and move up a little bit more. So there they go. And we're going to get the Ruggled's Armored Orcs and just have them shoot at the Cryptors back here. Nasty Skulkers have been discovered. So I don't know how well my front line's going to hold up. That is for sure. He's got like... He rolled a couple of Cryptors here, which is kind of scary, actually. Yeah, it's going to be a little bit frightening. So Skulkers lurk nearby. Get these guys chilling. And we can pull the heavy cab around here. Okay, am I being flanked by anybody? I don't think so. All right. So Cryptors are getting worked. We're going to get you guys in combat. You guys in combat here. And yeah, now we're going to go and we're going to use the Smoke Bomb. So Smoke Bomb. Slow those guys down. And the Boar Boys should be able to get over there and fight it. All right. So you guys ready for the Forbidden Combo of the Gods? So we're going to use Effigy of the Git on these guys. And then... Oh, I can only be so wrecked. Oh, you guys ready? Oh, the Foot of Gork. Let's go. Stop the yard. Yeah, baby. Let's get it. All right, so now we need to run with you, and we're going to get this man in here. Go after that. So that was pretty good. We'll get the Mangler Squigs moving into the front line, and it looks like there's a little bit of flanking coming in here. All right, so we can use the Mumbo Jumbo Chan if we want to. Blood Knights did get Foot of Gork really, really hard. Dude, that is some Warhammer 2 tech right there. All right, the Bale Taurus band is nearby. Ruggled's Armored Orcs are doing work, and we're still shooting away. We can use these guys to just pin you down, the Vargulf, and just keep shooting away at these. My opponent probably going to come around the outside there, and we're still chasing and getting some okay value here, but I think we unfortunately threw those guys away there. So that feels bad. All right, so little Squig Gremlin, let's get over here. We can get Wurzag and go fight this. Yeah, I stopped some of my own units, that's true, but it's part of the flavor, you know? It's part of the flavor. All right, so I'm just going to use Foot of Gorks because that's like the coolest thing we can possibly do, right? The vampire counts here are going to have a bad time because they're being flanked by 3 Chaos Dwarf monsters, which I am going to get the Bolt Thrower and switch the Bolt Thrower onto Draz Hoeth. And now we're going to see if we can bully this guy a little bit. We'll see if we can. All right, let's use leadership there. I still have the Squig summon in the back pocket. We have the Wog now, so let's pop that. And Black Orcs are still going pretty strong. But yeah, let's start targeting some of the other units here. Yeah, it's going to be big. All right, so we have the enemy Shock Cav on their way in, so we're going to summon some Squigs to fight them. So we're going to use the Squig summon, which is awesome. Very, very useful here, actually. And you guys are going to go fight them, and you guys need to get away right now. All right, so we don't have a whole lot to deal with the vampiric like pressure now. Mangler Squigs are basically cooked. Yeah, now you guys can go here, and let's call in the pump wagons. Okay, gather them up and get ready to go over here. And we can do another foot of Gork on these guys and see if we can get them. Here it comes. Here comes the foot. Give me the foot. Oh, yeah. Dude, look how cool that is. That did not do a lot of damage, but it sent a message for sure. All right, let's get on the Vargulf. We're doing good on points. A lot of our infantry are hacking and slashing and getting some value there. Oh, the Crypt Ghouls. Where the hell did they come from, dude? Where have they been this entire game? Man, oh, man. All right. So, yeah, I don't know where those gremlins came from, but, yeah, they're a problem. So we are going to lose this flank. Ruglad's armored orc boys are shooting away, and we have our two characters fighting. I think, like, I have done as much as I'm going to do this game. Maximilian and I are both basically going to die here. And, yeah, I just need to keep my little gremlins alive if possible. Do I keep the pumps alive? Yeah, let's try and get the pump wagons away. So we're going to add them to control group 2 and just retreat. Pull back, get the pump wagons moving to these guys. We have the Ruglad's armored air boys bringing down the Vargulf, but they're about to get crushed. We can bring some Black Orcs over and see if they can get here and help out. All right, keep running here. Yeah, Black Orcs are not going to be able to catch any of that shit, that is for sure. The Error Boys are going to get pounded, so we're going to pull you guys in. And we were able to escape. I mean, my army's basically cooked. The Vampires and I both got some pretty good value, but both of our armies are very haggard, and Grand Cathay is going to be a menace. So I think it's time for us to go on a great exodus here and just hopefully fight a little bit longer. So what do we have here? Yeah, Black Orcs versus you. I mean, they'll do something. The Blood Knights here will absolutely crush my two characters. I do have a healing potion. Yeah, there's that. And the Mangler Squigs, how much value? 400 value, not very good, yeah. And now we're being bombarded by Grand Cathay too. So I need to keep my heroes alive just to be a goblin. So we're going to try and ride away. These are freaking Blood Knights, I think. Yeah, Blood Knights are going to annihilate my guys so badly. I'm going to need to use some magic to finish him. Oh, thank God the Cathay cannons are shooting him. Jeez Louise. All right, the Blorks, how are they looking? Yeah, we're going to try and get you guys out of combat here. We're going to keep running from the Blood Knights because, yeah, that is not good for us. We could target these. He's going after the chariots, and Max is doing good on points. Him and I have had a very bloody exchange, and the Chorps are actually not looking super hot either. Yeah, let's get out of here. The Blorks are going to fold here, though, unfortunately. Let's put the immovable bulwark to try and make them hold a little bit longer, but yeah. The Chorps getting in there was a problem. Yeah, let's get the Savage Orcs this way. We're going to loop around. And how much magic do I have? Okay, I have enough for a couple sniping spells. We can use this. I actually don't know what kind of damage this is going to do. I could try it. But I feel like he could just dodge it. Yeah, the Blood Knights are getting hammered, man. I guess I could go take the fight versus the Blood Knights if it's just them. The Chorps are rolling. What the hell? Why are they so damaged? Where did their HP go? Just get nuked by something? Oh, it must have been a Winds of Death from the Vampire or something. Because he gets the entire lore of magic. Yeah, the Sky Junk's pretty great. The tabletop model for the Sky Junk is really good too. So that's Stinger's over there. I'm just going to lurk in the shadows and hope people forget about me. That's what needs to happen here. Vampires are going to get cannonballed. So Cathay is farming a lot of value. Chorfs are just farming like on the periphery of the fight, right? So they're just kind of looking for freebies here, wherever they can get it. I don't think I have a chance of winning this. I think we're just a little too haggard. Okay, so Blood Knights are coming. I do have my snare, but I'm going to save that for a very like clutch moment here. Those are Varix Reavers, so we can take Wurzag and get ready to go help. We can help against those guys, and you guys keep running here. All right, Wurzag's coming back. Are the Blood Knights nearby? They are nearby. Okay, so that's a little bit scary. I don't know if I want to use my snare here. Yeah, I don't want to use my snare. Cannonballs, yeah, the cannons are farming the cavalry models, which is good. Stinger's AFK for the entire FFA? Not quite. He's got a Celestial General. He's fighting over here, but that is how Cathay usually plays. Oh, we get the Blorks back too. That's fun. All right, so let's go get them close to the edge and just have them AFK for now. And we're going to sneak around, be a sneaky get. Yeah, so we're going to work here, empowering shrooms. I guess I think it has to be a squig, so not super good. Vampire counts are just tanking it like champs. The Vampires just want to be the last man standing, basically. Cathay cannons will farm them, but it's not going to kill them super quickly. So they have a Vampire Lord, Blood Knights, Varix Reavers. Chorfs have that scary SE blob. Oh shit, there actually is a timer. There's a 40-minute timer. Cathay actually lost its they actually lost their Celestial General here. That's pretty rough for them. Now, you know what? If I want any chance of winning, I need to snipe the snipe some vampire stuff, right? Like that's how this needs to go. Blood Knight, the Black Orcs literally just hiding in the edge of the map. It's pretty funny. We'll save them for a rainy day. Healing potion, yeah, it's an item on the Night Goblin boss. People forget about it, but it's a thing. All right, so how's our vigor? Oh, we're exhausted. Okay, so we're just going to replenish our vigor. That's going to make us much better in combat. So basically, if we just stand still for a couple minutes, these guys are going to get their vigor back and they'll be cooking. And the Chorfs are coming from the other side. Yeah, the artillery of Grand Cathay shooting into the Chorf battle lines. Dude, the Chorfs almost got like a regular FFA army with the huge SE goon squad here. Drazhoath, of course, doesn't have any means of healing, though, so he's chilling out. So we're very tired now, so the vigor is coming. Yeah, we have the orcs here. They are also recovering vigor. Savage orcs are recovering vigor, too. Vigor is a huge variable in this game. If we could get fresh again on these units, they'll fight way better. They'll fight way, way better. So cannon shots are there, and now we're just kind of casting here. Grand Cathay's cannon still has plenty of ammo. Vampires, what they need to do to win is probably get in here and try and just farm what they can. So we are going to move, but we're going to walk while we do it. And now we're going to call the dreaded Blorks in. Have them walk, and you're going to walk there too. All right, so we can have all those guys walk. It looks like people are going for the bread. Everybody's collapsing on Grand Cathay right now. Isn't that good? I love it. Yeah, so very tired, so no longer exhausted. That's a start, and the heavy cav going to come after me. I can actually get them with the Foot of Gork combo again. I don't know if that's worth it. I think the Vindictive Glare or Gaze of Mork might just be better. We'll have to see. Winds of Death on the vampires. Nice value right there. Pretty good. Pretty good stuff. As we waddle ever so slowly. Still very tired. It'd be really nice if CA added a meter where you could see the vigor of units. That would be like an interesting tactical thing too. How's the line of sight going to be here? Are we going to be able to hit some guys? Not quite. Okay. Yeah, and these units are animated. Yeah, his vigor is actually pretty good on most of his units. I feel like we can't wait, so we got to move. The vigor replenishment, the time is over. At least we're not exhausted anymore, right? All right, it's Foot of Gorkin time. So we need to, in order to win this, we need to be the last man standing. That's really hard. That's really hard. We still have our Lord kit, which is nice. And we do have the Blood Knights coming after us. So we're going to go ahead and charge them here. And we're going to get ready to fight. We might be able to take on the Blood Knights with the Savage Orcs, maybe. I don't think it's worth using the snare, so we're going to just do this, and we're going to use Rally, and we're going to use the Mumbo Jumbo Dance, which is going to give a huge combat buff to my orcs here. So hopefully they'll be able to cut through, and unfortunately, can I use it on him? Can't use it on him, okay, even though he's riding a squig. Blood Knights are pretty chad. The orcs are chopping through them, and the squig is doing work. Wurzag is still dancing. I can pop the healing potion on you, because we're going to need it. All right, so the healing potion activated. Getting through those Blood Knights is really, really difficult. Ay, but we almost got them. They got 900 HP right there. Yeah, we got 900 HP. Plus spacebar. You're saying, oh, there's a vigor meter in the toggle tooltip. Got it. We're just not in the baseline one. Okay, got it. The Blorks are coming, and we are able to defeat the Blood Knights. So the Blood Knights are falling here. And now we got Varix Reavers coming in. They might be able to break my Savage Orcs, maybe. So these guys are crumbling out. Let's get the Blorks over here. We're going to have you guys start running. They're only winded now. Wurzag is actually a good AP fighter, I think. No, oh, didn't Wurzag used to have armor piercing? Is there some weird debuff? I guess I'm wrong about that. Okay, crumbling down. A couple Longma Riders coming to fight too. So now we need to finish those damn Blood Knights. There's only 4 of them left, but the problem is my little goblin. Ugh, his leadership isn't great. We might need to use some magic here. I really didn't want to, but okay. Blood Knights are gone, but now we got the Longma Riders in the mix. And how far off are the Blorks? Come on, guys. Oh, they're so far away. And the squig will come back most likely. He'll most likely come back. All right. So we'll wait for the squig to rally, and then when he gets back, we'll use the leadership buffs. No, the foot I want to save for something over here. Max is really far ahead on points. He's been able to farm a lot. His vampire army is doing great work down here. And the cav will be defeated here. We'll use the get in here. We need to make sure vampires are not last man standing. It's our only chance of winning this. So we'll probably use some sniping spells. Yeah, I think that's going to be good. All right, so these guys are crumbling 381. Varric's Reaver is really, really tough to break. Like, very tough. All right, let's take these hockey players over here. From a distance, they look like they're, like, carrying hockey sticks. It's hilarious. Crumbling. 5 models left, 184 HP. Still not breaking. Yeah, those are some stalwart undead. That is for sure. Okay, vampires are still in it. Now we go. I don't want to be fighting the Chorfs, although I'd send some Black Orcs into those Ironsworn. We can even send the Squigs, although, man, he still has the freaking Fireglaves over there and shit. Okay. So what we need to do is use some Vindictive Glares, or Gaze and Mork, excuse me, and we're going to try it on the... I don't know how good it's going to be from here. Let's see what kind of damage we can get. Are we going to get anything here? Okay, we do get it, and it goes... And it hits the freaking Corpse Cart and gets me a little bit of value. HitmanHippo's at 9,000 value now, too. So the Fireglaves seem busy, so I think we just run with the Blorks. Move in here. Okay. We got Fist of Gork. We have Ere We Go. Should be able to take down the Ironsworn once the Giga Chads get in there. Could use the Mumbo Jumbo Dance, so that is going to trap us down for a minute. Get in here, boys. This is a really good FFA, though. Like, the auto-gen is so much better than the preset armies. It's so much more fun. All right, so that's some free points for us. The Vargulf just being a menace. Look at this friggin' thing. I don't know how good the glare is going to be against the Vargulf. Let's see if we can pop it in the face with a magic effect. All right, so we're going to go for it. Hopefully not friendly fire some of our own guys, but we probably will. Okay, how much damage? 41. Ooh, that was good. That was like 700-800 damage there. And now we're going to be gathering, and I'm just going to keep casting that spell. That seems like the way to do it. You guys chase them down. The Vampire Lord is cackling, and oh boy. Like, everybody except Stingers is doing good on points now. Can the Squig hop in and help? We can go try and get the Vampire Lord too. If we can snipe him, that's going to be pretty money. All right, so we're going to charge the Vampire Lord. Is he actually on foot? Oh shit, he is. He's actually on foot there. Okay. So the Squig is going to get in and try and fight him, and he just gets punched in the face. And oh shit, did that guy have like a silence or some shit? Oh, it's the Lamasu. Okay, I was like, goddamn, what the hell is that shit? Okay, so we're going to blast you. Hopefully Wurzag will turn around quickly and get it. Come on, cast a spell. Oh yeah, and there we go. Nice, big damage coming in. And we'll try and get one more blasting spell in him. I think we have enough for 2 more. Maybe if we overcast 1 more. Okay, the Blorks are chasing. They are getting those guys, so that's going to be some points. I think we might need them in the fight, though, so we're going to bring them back here. And we just got to wait for the Vindictive Glare here. I still have my Snare ability, which does good damage also. Let's get our little goblin into the Corpse Cart. Yeah, man. The Vampires really far ahead on points. Really, really far. Okay, so we're going to get you. We're going to do this and blast you, and hopefully the bait will work. Okay. Oh, shit. I accidentally clicked on the Mumbo Jumbo Dance. Wait, did it not use my Winds of Magic? Did it cast a spell? Okay, just to be safe, I'm just going to do, like, the single one here. We're not going to... I don't know how that worked. Did it cast a spell? I don't know if it did. That was strange as hell. All right, so in that case, I think it double casted. I could be crazy, but I'm not going to cast any more spells, just to be fair, because if it used that spell for free, then that would be cheating. So, yeah, we're not going to cast any more spells. You glitched it? Yeah, okay, well, the bug has been discovered here. Okay, we're going to need the Black Orcs to come across. Ah, the Fireglaive. Okay, so we can turn around and farm some points off them. Yeah, so I clicked the Mumbo Jumbo while the spell was in effect, and it looked like they just didn't do their thing. Oh, we're getting blasting charge for real. All right, let's do this to keep their leadership steady. Yeah. I thought that bug had been fixed, the magic. Dude, that's really strong though, because that could be sneaky in tournaments. People might not notice that. Yeah, we better put something about that in the rules. I'm going to try and recreate that later. All right, let's go get these guys, farm some points. The temptation is coming. My temptation to go after the Vampire Lord here. Wurzag, is there any way I could be the last man standing? I don't think so. Wurzag is strong and all, but like against all this Cathay shit with like guns and everything. Yeah, I don't know. The Vampire Lord is farming a lot of value here. Max is looking very strong. Negative 22 leadership. Those guys are broken. Okay, hopefully they just stay broken. Now we need to go get involved in the mainline fight. Now, the one ability I do have is the snare. So we can go snare the vampire. Yeah. I think the vampires have just won this. Because you get points for being last man standing. It depends on how much I'm able to farm, but we also see the freaking Bale Beast coming, the Lamasu. He's getting Last Samurai pretty good. Okay. Yeah, he's chasing those guys down. We can use an Effigy of the Git on him, which will snare him. You guys ready for this? Yeah, I think I saw it cast twice. Pretty sure. But again, I can go back and check the replay later. Yeah, we are on peer-to-peer connections. That's why there's a little bit of lag. Ugh. Oh, I see it. Actually, I'm having some internet things going on right now. Okay, hopefully it's not the squirrels chewing on the cables again. Notorious little gremlins they've been. Okay, we're charging back up. Let's go. Oh! Do we get the effigy? We're going to help Grand Cathay. You know, nobody likes the undead, right? It's so easy to reproduce. Okay, well that's good. Can you report that to CA, that one? Look, effigy of the get. Come on, Cathay, I'm helping you out. Don't shoot me with your archers, bro. What is this shit? I'm literally snaring the foul vampire lord for you, and this is the respect I get from stingers? Oh, dude. Yeah, sounds good. All right, we need a killing blow. Where's Ag? Oh, wild hogs! Did he get him? Oh, we missed. Feels bad. Okay, let's pop that. Oh, no, Wurzag's gonna die. Oh, Wurzag got the killing blow. But now we're getting Last Samurai. Oh, no. Not like this. Get on top of the guns. Wurzag. Mumbo Jumbo dance. We're doing the Mumbo Jumbo dance. All right, there we go. Yeah, sounds good. I will Anticity. I'll check it out later. Oh, we're broken. I'm too weak. Cathay's going to be the last man standing. So Cathay gets 2,000 points for being last man standing, but they're so far behind that the vampires win it. GG, it was really fun. That was like actually a good FFA. It's me and Stingers. Okay, so I just need to leave. Okay, perfect. That was a fun match. It was a fun match, man. I enjoyed that. Having the auto-gen armies and a bunch of random shit. Let's look at the armies, though. So Max's army was... That's actually a pretty okay army. Yeah, Cryptor, zombies. He even got a corpse cart. That's like really nice. Stinger's got a good army, too. Like a little bit of cheese and artillery. The Chaos Dwarfs literally got 3 Infernal Ironsworn. Oh my god. My army was alright. It was decent. The artillery was good, I think. The Mangler Swigs didn't do so well. Alright. GG, well played. So, hopefully you guys enjoyed this. Take care of yourselves, one and all. That was fun. I'm going to go get some dinner now. I'm very, very hungry. I haven't eaten since very early this morning, so going to be calling it now. But congratulations to tonight's Showmatch winner, HitmanHippo, and also a big round of applause for our boy Stingers. And yeah, he played like a champ. He took 2 games off Hippo, almost was able to sweep it back in the end with Nurgle. It was very, very fun. So if all of you guys on YouTube dropped a like, that would be great. Let me know if you guys like the format. It's how I gauge what I'm going to stream, basically. And for those of you on Twitch, consider following, subscribing, all that goodness. You guys rule, man. That was fun. Adios. Do widzenia. See you guys on the other side. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is going to be it for tonight.